they're actually exceeding their budget this month and for the year. So, you know, they're slow just because it's that time of year, but they're doing very well. Drains, for whatever reason, in January or February, they tanked. Like, we couldn't get a phone call. And then this month, it's like the faucet turned on again. And drains is one of those things, they're typically very consistent. But
yeah, there's no weather really related.
Right. Yeah, maybe heavy rain sometimes affect it, but
is it all? Pardon me, is that all wonky now?
I'm all up, but I still have to learn. I have to get those IDs working.
If someone had a
we're up now.
Okay.
Just let me get
even on
Facebook.
Belly.
We're up.
So picture the belly.
Just as you walk through the door.
And let's say it's, what are they typically? 6 feet down. A sewer line, just typical.
8 to 10 on that.
And then the belly is just usually, it's just like 6 inches.
Yeah.
10 inches.
Could you, if you had the right mud jacker go in, could you mud jack that fucking belly out without having to dig down and trench and remove?
Well, hold on though. How you would have to? How would you get the mud down there?
I don't know. I don't.
They don't inject like. Well, they actually inject under slabs.
AAA's got a big ass. It looks like a huge fucking needle thing.
Yeah, but that's for under slabs. You're saying could they go under a pipe?
I don't know what they'd be jacking though. Just the pipe or the dirt. There's no slab under
Right,
there.
right. It's just the pipe that seems like the mud would go around.
Yeah, that'd be pretty hard to pinpoint where you're putting that thing.
Okay.
But, I mean, you could, but at that point, you've already dug it up anyway. You're saying without digging it up.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Basically, inject a needle down there.
I don't see why you can't locate the belly though and go in and just spot fix it.
We do that all the time.
Yeah, because the camera will tell you how many feet you're in. I was out to one of your sites a few years ago when you were doing one. Fuck, man, there's a lot to that shit. I mean, that fucking that trench you guys, the one that I saw was fucking huge. I mean, it was a lot of work. Yeah, and then it was in the cul-de-sac. Then they had it fucking tore up in the cul-de-sac too. That's got to be a shitload of work. And you must have to pull a permit from the city for that, right?
Every job we do gets a permit.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it's in the yard.
Oh, you still got to pull it. Yeah, okay.
Today temperatures in the low 50s, so a little below average. We will get some sunshine, but it is.
No, I was actually shocked. Those trenches look, they look like they could be a little dangerous too, man, honestly.
Extremely dangerous. That's why you hear people getting buried every year.
What's extremely dangerous?
The trenches. You know, we have trench shoring. We have aluminum boxes that go in.
Yeah, literally, man. It's crazy.
So the code is once it gets deeper than 4 feet, you put a box in to keep it from caving in on you.
Goodness, okay.
Yeah, and sometimes we're 16 feet deep.
Hey, waterpros.net, if you want a water fountain at your kitchen with a triple filter reverse osmosis, it's the best system you can get. Low maintenance, computerized, and it's under
$1,000 fully installed from waterpros.net. Welcome. Today, let's talk what's on your mind. Deputy Smarty Pants dealt with another problem, and here's what it was in essence. This woman had a Mercedes, and it had a problem. And the problem had been covered by a previous recall. It was the same exact problem she had for the same vintage, same make, same model, except it did not include her VIN number. So meanwhile, she spends thousands of dollars and says, wait a minute, I got people to the left of me and people to the right of me spending money, getting reimbursed for a recall, and I didn't. Go ahead.
So, yeah, she spent almost $10,000 with this one repair shop called Hoover Repair in Parker.
And it's a Sprinter van.
And, through my efforts, I attempted to reach Westminster, who she originally bought the vehicle from, and they were of no help. They would not return any phone calls. They wouldn't even say, bug off to me. There was just no return calls there. So I worked with the repair shop owner. And I said to the guy, come on, you must know somebody in Mercedes because you worked for them for 35 years. You worked for Westminster. You got to know somebody. So he reluctantly said, okay, yeah, I might know somebody. And he's, working on it, and I got a note today from the consumer that he gave her a contact.
At Mercedes.
At corporate Mercedes. And well, she will, she's as adept as anybody. She's a smart cookie. So she can handle this. If she wants me to do it, I will. But I think she has all the info to contact this other Mercedes contact.
Since we've been talking about this, a lot of other people have come forward, you said.
Well, according to their note to me, which apparently you read, a lot of people listening to your show have gone to this particular mechanic and has brought it up to him. Hey, I heard this issue on the radio, and now it might have created him more business. So I said he should thank you. He should thank you for the unintended consequence of mentioning him. So he might have more business because of it, and hopefully he'll work harder to get her refund. He has all the documentation. This guy is a real whiz. He says it should never have happened. He took photos. He got videos. He has everything that he gave her to back up his case. The only thing missing is corporate Mercedes willing to agree with him.
Okay. Well, we're going to follow that along, Smarty. Hey, what may I ask you something? Since you winter in Florida, are a lot of people talking about that accident down there, the Tower of Doom?
Yeah, it's news.
But is it? Yeah. I wonder if it's more news than it was here. I just wanted to get a sense of that. I wasn't sure.
I don't think it's anymore. And honestly, Tom, I don't even watch news anymore because I don't believe it's news.
I know.
I don't believe it's news. It's all propaganda.
I search out many sources, and then there isn't anything truly news. There isn't. But here's what I found. If you look at all of them, you get some sense of what's going on. I mean, but it's just that whatever way you want to be bent, basically. Truly.
Yeah, but I get my news, let's say, from hearing from you, or I honestly don't watch national news anymore.
No, I know what you mean. I don't. I do everything on demand. That's for sure. I never sit down and watch anything, but I do it on demand. I'll look at certain stories. What amazes me is how many different angles there are in the same damn story. I mean, it's like, are they talking about the same thing? I mean, God, it's amazing. But thanks. Anyway, let's talk to Kelly. Kelly, hi. What's happening?
Hi, Tom. We have an issue with AT&T, and we have been with them for many years, and they did an add-on international policy on our phone policy, and we have 4 different separate numbers.
Well, tell us from the beginning. I'm a little confused now. So you have an issue with AT&T. What is it?
Well, the issue is they charged us for an international phone policy, which we were not aware of.
Okay. What does that mean? You mean for international calling?
Correct.
Okay. I'm not aware. You can't just pick up your phone and call internationally. Is that right? Unless you have the program.
That I couldn't answer you. You might be able to, but it would be roaming charges, where this maybe gives you some kind of discounted deal.
Okay.
But anyways, we know nobody internationally.
Got it.
They put it on our
And how much does that international calling program add to your bill?
$60 a month.
Wow.
And we discovered it just recently because we have 4 people on our plan and we have 2 businesses.
And you've never used it, right?
Nope.
Okay, so what does it all add up to?
$6,060.
For how long have you been paying this?
2013 October.
Oh my God! I mean, why wouldn't you? Why did it take 8 years to catch it?
Because they don't have Sue's.
Well, Tom, because like I said, we have 4 people on the policy. We have 2 businesses on it.
No. I meant, listen. I got to tell you something. Suzanne goes through our charge cards, and if I spent $4.99 more on something, she'll say, "What was this?" I swear to God, I don't.
Remember that time your Amazon charges were out of whack?
Yeah, I had an extra $1,200 in Amazon charges, and she says, "What? Why is this?" Turns out Mark had my card by mistake. Well, no, it was the Troubleshooter card, but it was for. He used it for personal stuff because it defaulted to it. Anyway, here's what I'm getting at. I know what you mean, Kelly. It's hard to go over phone bills and every bill we have and figure out what's going on. I know that. But to a certain extent, though, I think people have a responsibility to mitigate their damages. However, it would seem to me, okay, obviously, you should have found out, but you didn't. Many companies will go back and take some responsibility, but not all of it. Other companies say it's your problem, but then there are some companies who would say it's substance over form. What does that mean? It means you had, the form of it is you had it, and you're paying for it, but the substance is, did you actually use it? Now,
We never authorized it.
well, without even getting into that, it was on your bill, and you let it ride. I'm asking you, if you've never used it, not once, that would be a pretty good argument.
Yeah, we haven't.
Yeah. So what do they say about it? What do they?
Obvious on all our
What
phone
does
bills.
AT&T say about it?
They don't. Basically, they don't. They're ignoring it. They don't want to comply. Everybody bounces me around from.
What do you mean they ignore it? Do they say, "Oh, that's unfortunate," or do they simply? I mean, have you ever asked to be reimbursed for it?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, so it was put on there without you ever ordering it. Was it put on there from day one of signing up with AT&T?
No, we were on there before. It was an add-on, and Tom,
How
I'm
did it
wondering
happen? Was there an event? Did you buy a phone, or did it just arbitrarily show up?
That I couldn't answer you. All I know, we have bills back, and it started 2013 October.
Okay. In
And I don't know if they make a
2013, they
commission.
started charging you for this,
Yes.
just out of the blue.
Yes. Yeah, we have nobody. We have, I mean, and it shows on the bill from 2013. It's under my husband's cell phone number, and there is not one international call on it.
Well, okay. This is something we should be able to handle. I mean, they have to listen to reason.
Yeah,
I mean, they have
and
to. This is
and I
ridiculous
tried. I mean,
because
I'm a
you
pretty
never
persistent-
authorized it. Suze,
No.
do we have an angel over at AT&T?
I'm not sure, but I can try to land one.
We should give it to somebody to work on. This is pretty.
Okay.
This is a
Good,
pretty.
Marty.
Yeah, this is a pretty straightforward. They have no proof that she ordered it. She never ordered it. It was back in 2013. She's been paying $60 a month. And if they say, well, why didn't she notice? Here's why. She had AT&T prior to that. She simply pays her bill. I pay my bill. I mean, how do you know if something shows up on there?
We had a similar deal right here with Comcast, and it went back 5 years. They agreed to 3 years, if you recall, and we got a credit for about $5,000. But they would only go back 3 years, and I thought that was acceptable.
Yeah. It was the... Okay. And did they say they'd only go back that long because we should have known?
Well, they said we can only go back 3 years. It'd be ridiculous to go back 5 years. I mean, I just didn't think it was that crazy.
Okay, but I think we should call them for you, and I agree with you. 303-713-8255.
This is Denver's Talk Station with Tom Martino now. Dan Campbell's today at 4, 6:30, KHOW, Denver.
My accident alert, your accident alert, and my accident
You're
alert.
right there.
Impact traffic. This report is sponsored by
Right there.
Allstate.
That's the one that'll get you.
Look at that. He's got his own water.
I know, it's not plumb line.
We had
Plumline
town
water?
water. We literally had town water for a while. We ran out of it. But it was his picture and it said Troubleshooter on it.
Whatever happened to that guy? I like him. The guy that we had that did the logoed stuff.
The water was a different guy.
Oh,
I know who you're talking about. I liked him too. I forget his name.
What did he do?
He did all kinds of.
he was on The Bachelor.
Yep, he was on The Bachelor.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, he was a cool guy. He did it. He does.
You a safe driver?
He was on the Bachelor, absolutely.
With Drive-Wise from Allstate,
Like, was
the
he
safer you
Bachelor,
drive,
or
Well, he
did
didn't end up
win?
winning.
and Allstate.
Wait, he was the Bachelor.
He was.
No,
He
he was
was.
no, he was on the Bachelorette, right?
No, he was the Bachelor.
Oh. Let's talk about being injured.
In an accident, any accident, specifically traffic accidents, John Fuller's specialty. John Fuller is our personal injury expert. And I have to tell you that he is small by design. When I say small, I'm not talking about not powerful. I'm talking about taking personal attention to you and your case. He has a small staff that concentrate on the cases they accept. And if you're wondering how to find that out, I'm going to let you know in a minute. You call him or go to his website, and he will go over the entire case with you to let you know if he can do you any good, and he'll be honest with you. And if he does take the case, it'll be on contingency. He'll give you his cell phone number, and the word is communication, dedication, and passion. John Fuller, he's my accident lawyer. He can be your accident lawyer at myaccidentlawyer.co. That's myaccidentlawyer.co. 303-597-4500. If you want to make things simple, go to simplyfloorsinc.com for your floor coverings. You know what he'll do? Or them? It's Buddy and Karen Mitchell. They will make sure you get a design consultant free of charge for your project to make sure you incorporate those floors into your project. And also, they will get you the best installers and the best price. They have a wide assortment of carpets. They have LVT. They have hardwoods, which include engineered floors as well, or laminates. Make your own appointment. They'll come to you even. Simply Floors Inc. That's INC. simplyfloorsinc.com.
Hi, everybody. Jack Corrigan, voice of your Colorado Rockies.
Join me and MLB legend Cal Ripken Jr. for the 2022 Sports Breakfast at Ball Arena, supporting the Boy Scouts of America. It's April 6th from 7 to 9 a.m. You'll hear amazing Scout impact stories, meet local sports stars and celebrities, and of course hear from the Hall of Famer Cal Ripken himself. For more information, go to denverbboyscouts.org/sportsbreakfast. Register.
You know, it always amazes me that they have these, quote, celebrities give commencement speeches at graduation.
And why?
Well, because half of them are morons. I mean, what does a celebrity have to do with a college education?
Maybe it's a college-educated celebrity. Some of them aren't.
But even so, I mean, just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean they have the ability to tell college students what to expect in the future, how to behave. I mean, it just seems to me that you give more credibility to somebody because they're famous rather than the qualifications to speak at somewhere.
I appreciate your point of view. I actually do. However, who are those kids listening to?
I
miss celebrities.
Of course,
okay,
right.
but that's my point. In other words, I understand the import of what you're saying. Okay, that there's nothing to give a celebrity impetus to be in that spot.
Is that a jelly spot?
That folks are listening.
Bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s. Isn't it time for something new?
Denzel Washington gave a great commencement speech a few years ago.
This one playing right now.
How would he know? The first line
I agree with that.
He sees it out.
They give way too much
material
credibility
and viruses
to your point.
Yeah.
You know how I do it?
You bring up
clean your nose.
He's louder.
But Denzel is also being
Gavage
consistent.
isn't medicine. It's more like
All the ones that increase in volume, those are all jelly spots. Isn't that fucking nutty?
And then out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and microbes. So
You know, they could,
Mike has sold a lot of magical shit on this station.
work hard, don't get in trouble.
Find out for
You know, it's like, who was it? Ben Shapiro said, if you want to succeed in America, you do three things. Get an education, work hard, and don't have kids out of wedlock.
That is.
And then you won't, if you do those three things, you will, in America, you will not be poor.
You'll be in the top 5%.
Yeah.
Highly likely.
The owner of Excel.
Wait, I want to hear this, guys.
When you need someone to help you with your roof, you can trust Excel Roofing. Call 303.
I thought his kids were in this spot.
Who said
that? He did.
Repairs and complete
I did.
No, he did.
We do it all from
I want to hear if his kids are.
rental to top of the line.
Probably on TV more than radio.
At Excel, you don't pay a cent until you're content. Excel is the most
Listen, Mark, hold on one second.
for the last 29 years. Same owner, same number. 303-761-6400. That's 761-6400, or go to excelroofing.com.
He was telling me how he likes the Done Right commercials because the kid's in it or something. So he wanted to start putting his kids into the commercials. That's all. I just haven't heard one yet.
Except the Done Right.
He was going to send me some for the spring. So I
Done
just
Right
haven't got it.
commercials. He's not a kid. He's a grown man.
Yeah, I know. I know. I thought that too, kind of. And he's in the company.
Right.
Call 1-800-BELCO-1 or visit belco.org/CD to open a CD online in minutes.
The one thing that got me about the Done Right, Tom, I don't know if I told you this. I had them do my bathroom, and I paid them, you have to pay them as you go, which was great. The job was finished, I was very happy. I gave them like 20 grand. I think I owed them $250, right, for the last payment. They said, do you want to send somebody over to pick up the check?
Hi, Tom Martino, your
Troubleshooter. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Free market analysis of your home. Just give him a call. He'll let you know what it will sell based on his 27 years of experience in this market. And he'll do a complete analysis, which is really important right now. You might decide not to list. There's no obligation when you call Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. And speaking of assessments and market analysis and all that, Paul's got a question. A lot of people, I think, are looking at their their valuations saying, uh-oh, because valuations are going up accordingly with a good market. Although they're not real time. Assessments are usually lagged by 2 years. Not assessments, I mean valuations lag by 2 years. And let me just clear that up. A valuation sets the value the assessor uses. Then you're sent a bill based on that valuation. Obviously, the higher the valuation, the higher tax you pay. Paul, what's going on in your life?
Good morning, Tom.
Hey.
So I just wanted to kind of, I've got several questions. Recently, I received my tax statement for a 5-acre parcel of land that I own in Costilla County. I purchased the property in the mid-'80s. Up until last year, our tax bill for the property was in the $100 to $200 range. Last year, I got my property assessment statement from Costilla County Assessor, and the tax bill for the property was $827. So I inquired with Costilla County.
Wait. So you didn't go by the valuation. You waited to see what your tax bill was going to be.
That's correct. And
okay.
Prior to that,
and when did it jump to 800?
Last year.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
And then, so I reached out to them just for explanation so I could understand why the sudden increase.
Yes.
Basically, they're telling me that, and let me just take a step back. My wife and I put a 14 by 20 foot storage shed on the property. We put a 10 by 10 shed, and then a aluminum carport. That was the only difference. That's correct. Okay. And so once again, this year, my tax bill is $834 for the property, and they're telling me that I am being taxed at 29% of the assessed value of the property. I called Costilla County.
No one in the world, no one in the country is being charged 29% of value ever. It never happens. That is an impossibility. It has to be. Now, you can be charged a certain percentage. It's based on a mill levy per $1,000 of valuation. Do you understand what that means? Could you imagine if somebody had a home of $1 million? You're saying that they would be charged $300,000 in taxes? Of course not. So you misunderstood them, Paul.
So, Tom, I went on to Costilla County Assessor's website today, and they have a link to the Colorado tax code, and it basically mentioned understanding Colorado taxes. And it clearly shows that residential properties are taxed at a 6.95%. 1 and 2 family dwellings, 6.9%. And then it goes into commercial properties being taxed at 29%, agricultural properties being taxed at 29%, industrial, and it's right on their website.
Okay, I'll have to look. But
yeah,
okay. Let me ask you, Paul. Commercial property, okay, 29%. Okay, so we're talking about on a $300,000 property. No, there is no business. Let's say a commercial property of $500,000. Do you honest to God believe that anyone would have that based on taxes of $150,000? How ridiculous. Of course they're not taxed that much. That would be a monthly draw of $12,500. Paul, all I'm saying is you're understanding it wrong, okay? But your taxes, for example, you're not being taxed 30% of value, are you?
The way I understand it, I am, and that's the reason I called in, Tom.
Okay. Do you have your bill?
I do, but not in my possession at the moment.
I'm not going to chase and joust windmills. You show me the bill, show me the valuation, and I will guarantee you to get you answers. But there is no such thing as a 30% tax on business ever. And I don't even think there's a such thing. Hold on. Can you imagine? It's not unheard of to have a house right now of $800,000, all right? Okay, and you're telling me that they're taxed at 6.5%? Okay, so we're talking about $52,000 a year. Let me ask you something, Paul. Do you truly believe that they are charging $1,000 a week for tax in Castilla County for a house that's $800,000? Do you truly believe that, Paul?
No, I do not.
Then you misunderstood it a bit, didn't you?
Okay.
Because I don't think you have to panic. And there are ways, by the way, you don't even have to send me stuff for me to tell you this. There are ways to challenge that tax valuation. Okay? Challenge it. Go online, and there's somewhere to challenge it. If you miss the deadline to challenge your valuation, you can then do an abatement and file for an abatement. Go right online there and find it. It's just what you have to do. You have to do it. And people are usually pretty good at taking a look at that. Most consumers win the first time around when they protest. Did you know that?
I don't, but I did a little research on my own behalf.
Not much research, but...
Well, to protest the tax valuation of the property.
Yeah.
And then I was also, the Costilla County Assessor also said that they would go back 2 years.
Yes, they would. Yes, if you win.
So last year was the first year that it jumped from $100+ to $800, and I felt like I was being kind of not threatened per se, but I don't want to go back 2 years and then they go, oh, well, you owe me $800 for 2020, Mr. So-and-so. And
well, they're not going to do, no, you can go back 2 years. They won't go back and raise it.
Okay.
But I'm looking here at property tax. Where did you see a 30% tax on commercial property and a 6.5% tax on houses? Mark, he's claiming there's a 6.5% tax on houses. An $800,000 house, they'd be paying $1,000 a week in tax. Then he said there's a 30% on a business. So if you have a business of $1 million, a business property, commercial of $1 million, he's claiming you pay $300,000 a year in taxes.
No way.
Well, I know, no way, but I'm trying to find out where he found this out. So where is your source here? I want to find it.
So Costilla
County
Assessor's website.
Okay, I'm going to find it. We'll take this break. Hold on. The guy is Castilla.
Now, Impact Traffic. This report is sponsored by Discover.
Good drive time.
Did he say what the value of his property was?
He's probably thinking of like a mill.
Not the tax, but did he say what the value of his property was?
Okay, but nobody's paying.
No, I get that, but I mean, if you take 800 and divide it by the value of the property, that'll tell him that he's.
Oh, no, I can figure that out, right? You're right. Castilla, S-O-C-O-S-T-I-L-L-A. C-O-S-T-I-L-L-A.
Must be German.
Oh, I think there's no. Is it A?
It is A.
He's trying to tell us. Are we doing Fuller and Simply again?
Real credit card questions require real people. Someone who understands your issues and works to resolve them with you. That's why Discover offers helpful, U.S.-based representatives. Available 24/7. There's a ton of stuff. Hang on a sec. Exceptionally common sense.
Hi, it's Mandy Call. Join my friends Gary Bell and Brad Pollock for the Bell and Pollock Legal Show right here on KHOW every Saturday morning at 7. It's a live call-in show to give Coloradans like you free legal advice on any topic you'd like to discuss with them.
Okay, so let's see here. Clerk and recorder.
Okay, here's the tax rate. It's 0.075 for commercial.
Yeah. Well, that's a little different than 30%.
What the fuck is this guy crazy? What is
0.075%, not point.
No, it's 0.075 money on every $1,000 of valuation. It's not a percent.
It's the mill levy.
Yes. Yeah. Mill levy means per thousand. So if you have 300,000, you multiply that by 300. You pay it on each. The way you do it is you take the value, the assessed value. Like,
right. I think he's taking that number and multiplying it times 300,000.
So you got the assessed value. Let's see.
Want to get paid twice when you sell your?
I don't know what he's doing.
I know I would. Learn how.
But it sure as hell isn't 29%.
There's a hand waving behind me.
It might be 0.29%.
All right, so let's talk about SheridanAutotech.com. I've often said this. Sheridan has everything you want in an auto repair facility. They have honesty, longevity, value. They have an owner who treats you like family. They have convenience. It's the place you want to go. They even do electrical repairs. They have an electrical department, along with, of course, all your other maintenance. This knowledge is really important, too. They can tell you what's going on with your vehicle and keep it in great shape with regular maintenance. Be part of the Sheridan Autotech family. SheridanAutotech.com, 303-455-7242, 455-7242. Let's talk about estate planning. Everyone needs some kind of an estate plan. Sometimes it's just a will. Other times you might need a trust. And then you might want a beneficiary's deed, which leaves a house to someone outside of probate, or a payable on death certificate for your bank accounts. There are ways to avoid probate altogether, and Blake Harris can help you there. Blake Harris can help you plan or update your estate, and he doesn't charge, listen to this, for answers to your basic questions. And when you do hire him, it's a flat rate quoted up front. But first, ask your questions. 833-ASK-BLAKE. That's BlakeHarrisLaw.com, 833-ASK-BLAKE. All right, Mark, you brag about Paragon Services and public adjusters because we know public adjusters represent us when it comes to insurance claims.
You're not kidding. And Matt, I'm going to give you an idea of that. This guy got me $70,000 after my own insurance company said I had no damage. If you need help with your claim, you have to call Matt at Paragon Services. You can find him on the referral list or call him at 719-726-0020. Matt, Paragon Services, 719-726-0020.
Hi, Cindy with Dunright.
Done right. Okay, at the risk of putting this out on broadband, Mark, I may not be back right away because that fucking thing you gave me this morning.
I sent you an email that might be good info.
Thank you, by the way.
What?
What you fed me, I'm going to get back.
What did you feed him, Mark?
Hey,
a
burrito.
Oh.
There's some good info on that property tax one in your email. No, what happened is, I'm doing gluten-free, well, 95% or so. Anyway, so when Mark and I get a breakfast burrito, I just ask for a naked one. Well, generally I get 2 burritos. So he got 2, but they're like enough to feed an army. So I only ate one of them and said, give Tom the other one. He likes that no carb shit, you know?
Right.
Anyway, that's what. So it's a naked burrito.
Is that large, Marge?
The other guy, yeah.
Okay.
B large, by the way.
B large.
Yeah, that's his name. So, but I think A-Rod's filling in for the day.
Everybody's got. I got to come up with something. Everybody's got something going on, man. Willie B.
You're Marky Mark in the fancy pants.
Oh my goodness, where did that come in?
Don't walk in here in your tidy whities.
You know what? I am so this Chris Rock thing. I mean, race has nothing to do with it. It's one guy insulted a guy's wife and he slapped him.
I have no idea why race would have anything to do with what I am seeing.
Because who do you hear talking race in this matter? You don't hear black folks talking race in this matter.
I actually haven't. I hear Tom talking that it's racial.
No,
I haven't read anything
but if you do look on Twitter and if you look at some of the noise boxes,
is this us?
There's a lot of folks making comments that really just should have their mouths shut.
All right, 303-713-8255, 303-713-8255. I'm looking at the Costilla County, Colorado assessors. I hope I'm saying that right. And I see the mill levy is coming in at .075, so I have no idea what this guy is talking about. I'm going to go back to him. I got to pull this up real quick.
Hey, Mark.
Yeah.
I got an email from a guy named Toby saying commercial or underdeveloped land is valued at the valuation times a percentage, 29% times the mill rate. So
yeah, the mill levy, not the value of the property. He's saying his is going up. Bob, I didn't hear the whole thing. Did he say it's gone up $300,000?
No, his main concern was that his assessment was going from 100 or 200 to 800, so it's increased tremendously. So
whoa.
That's when he started digging in.
Well, wait a minute. If his actual assessment went up $700,000?
No. His tax bill went from $100 to $800.
Hold on. John's got a comment on this. John, what's your comment?
Yeah, that 29%, you take the actual value of the property, and then there's an assessed value, which is 29% of the actual value. And then the mill levy is based on that assessed value, which is 29% of the actual value.
So in his case, what do you think that number would end up at?
I don't know what the actual value of the property is, but you take the actual value of the property times 29%. So what, if you had 100,000, it'd be 29% of that would be what, 2,900?
Hey, Paul, what's the actual value of your property?
Just in round numbers, $33,000.
All right, so someone do the math for me.
So 29% that would be around $9,000.
He's paying about 2.5% total.
All right, so that's a lot different than what you're saying, Paul. You get it?
Understood.
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. I wouldn't own property anywhere if you had to pay 30% in taxes on the value. That would be insane.
Yeah, it's 29% of the actual value, and then that's what's taxed on. There's an actual value on your tax bill.
And then the assessed value.
And then there's assessed value.
And that's what you pay on the assessed value.
Yes, what you pay. The mill levy is where the math comes in.
And the mill levy will never, ever amount to 10% or 20% or 30% of the property.
Understood.
Yeah. So the mill levy where you're talking about, I looked it up,
was .075.
Right. So here's the deal, man. The best way to protest taxes is to protest the valuation. That's the only way, actually. You protest the valuation. You're saying they exaggerated the value of the property.
You know, and there's a lot of counties that are probably a little behind. And if you really think about how homes are selling, if you ask Frank Duran, my God, if your house doubled in the last 4 or 5 years, that is not unheard of at all now.
I know it. So, Bob, you want to complain, or you have an issue with a heating and air company 1 hour, is that?
Yes.
What is the issue, sir?
My heater went out in January during that 2 or 3 day cold snap. Anyways, so I didn't know who to call. I don't know nothing about heaters, so I called 1 hour. They came in and he talked us into, not.
Now, Bob, I want you to remember from now on, no matter what the issue, you go to referralist.com, and we have Plumbline Services here today, who happens to do plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. So I'm just saying that for future. Now, you want to talk about something that happened. And I don't want to cut you short. So if you hang on, I will take this in its entirety. We'll figure out what we can do to help you. I'm Tom Martino, 303-713-8255. Stick around for more on the Troubleshooter Network. We'll tackle your problems.
Hey, Khalid. So I'm just looking at news flash. So this is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar said that it reflects badly on the black community. So why is he bringing racism?
Okay. He's saying it reflects
I got it.
on the black community.
I'm shopping.
Not as a racial matter, but as a collective matter within one of us.
Race has nothing to do with it. It's one guy slapping another guy that doesn't insult his wife.
Well, because they were both black guys, he's probably saying it just doesn't, which is kind of weird, because if it was two white guys, they wouldn't say anything about race in it.
Follow me down the road. If it was two white guys,
I'm going to go
black
to it
folks
right
would
now.
have said there's just laugh at it going on, just like most of the white guys. But instead, it's two black guys, and you've got all these white proponents talking heads about stuff that they have.
I say this, so it'll come
and that's what makes it racial. That's what makes the mistake that they made in poor response, poor choice of jokes.
I don't know if you remember, a few weeks ago, a lady called about her challenger home sliding glass door being wonky. Okay, we sent Ted Bolden out. They're both coming on to the update, okay?
Good.
All right.
You could use any two people.
Yeah.
Take two rich guys. Right. And one
which it also was.
And one of them's looking down on
two celebrities.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying, any scenario, take two rich guys and one treats the janitor like dirt. Well, that reflects badly on rich people, right? You take any two people and use the same scenario, and I can see Kareem's point, but I don't really know the whole story.
Okay, good.
My feeling is Kareem is not talking to the world. Kareem is not speaking to the world. He's speaking to our community. That's what he's doing.
Here I am, sir.
That's what Denzel was doing. That's what all of them are doing. It just happens to be out there where other folks can do it.
I think
and folks are trying to chime in on it. Shut the fuck up. You've got no conversation.
It's 10% T5. It happened, let it go, forget about it.
No, it happened.
I do a lot of
not to you. You let it go. You forget about it because those folks that are involved are going to.
Okay, so here's what I want to tell you. Okay,
they are.
I have mine.
I think that let the Academy decide what to do because it's their problem, and just leave it at that.
The move means a crisis team will be.
And do I give a shit what they do? No. Do you give a shit what they do?
I do. I think he should be punished for it. I think it's kind of fucked up. No matter
but that's their problem, Mark.
Okay, the move was wrong. Everything was wrong about it. Okay, but if the Academy chooses to pull back his award, that's the Academy weighing in on what essentially was a mental breakdown. Okay, you guys don't understand.
I would have done the same thing. You talk about my life.
But he's a comedian, though.
Come on.
Think of how much shit all of them have said about Trump, for example.
Okay, you got so.
Oh my God, I totally disagree.
So clearly,
your wife's different because you're not in that. You're not a fucking star that's out blabbering about fucking everybody else all the time. You're not putting yourself out there.
Now you're bringing up the issues that make it a mental issue. That boy is tired of people dragging his ass. Okay? He's tired of people dragging his ass.
Well, he's in the wrong fucking business. And if you got $1 billion, quit fucking crying.
What he did was marry the wrong fucking person. That's what he did. Okay?
Okay. Right on. Nothing to do with anything but that.
Exactly.
Okay. That's all it is.
They have an open marriage.
But you know that man does not want an open marriage.
Did you know they have an open marriage?
I've known for years.
Well, hold on.
No, listen,
But I didn't know it until
okay,
yesterday.
and this is what, no, because you don't, this is the point, Tom. Smith's indiscretion have been silent. He ain't telling nobody who he's fucking around with. He's quiet about it, but Jada, on the other hand,
You want to know
went
something?
to the red table with.
I saw an interview where she did one of the friends of her son.
Yes.
She flaunted it online. Then in an interview, they're talking about it.
Yes.
And he says, well, my wife had. He asked her, why did you do it? She goes, I felt unhappy about myself. I needed to feel happy. He said, well, I forgave her for that indiscretion. She says, it wasn't an indiscretion. It was on purpose.
Exactly.
Now listen, and he just sat there, and you can tell, I don't give a shit what you say. Whenever there's an open marriage, there's always one doing it because they want to please the other, and the other one doing it because they're a fucking hoe daddy. That's
They're fucking crazy.
When it comes to an open marriage, I doubt both are open ever. Do you believe it? Do you believe it when it comes to open marriage? That
Maybe
both of them really
one
want
in a billion, yeah.
That both of them really want it. What do you think? Do you think both really want open marriages?
I would think you wouldn't.
I think
like
somebody
if you don't,
does it.
why would you be with him?
I think somebody does it to please somebody.
I think that none of us, including me, knows enough about either of those individuals and what they've done with their relationship to speak intelligently about it. Because, see, I've been watching them for as long as they've both been getting and becoming famous. And before they got together, they both had their own lives and they were
Yeah,
doing.
but she wasn't near as famous as when she married him.
Well, no, she wasn't near as famous as when she is.
Jada
Pinkett Smith.
What has she done? Just her?
She's done a lot.
Is she a musician or an actress?
She's an actress.
She's done a lot, but never a breakout.
Never great big stuff. That's why the other jokes that are going on is, well, Jada, what were you doing at the awards anyway? You weren't invited.
Wait a second, what was the? I thought the joke was about her, like having cancer or something.
No, she has alopecia. Her hair is falling out. She's chosen to cut off her hair. Okay. All right. Chris Rock decides he wants to make a joke about her becoming the next G.I. Jane, G.I. Jane 2. Okay. All right. That's the joke part of it. All right. But the way the whole thing played out, and I've seen like 20 different replays. I've seen the I guess you'd call them the station cuts, the cameras. What's going on here? There's cameras all over the place, and I've seen those plays that weren't aired in the break, in the show break. And you can see Denzel talking to Will. You can see Denzel talking to Chris. You can see actually Denzel spending a moment with JD. You see all of the unfold, okay, all of the behind scenes. That is clearly not what the noise is all about. The noise is something different.
Let's talk about why Colorado needs a law just like Florida.
But you see what I was saying, though, Bob? I mean, if you put yourself out there in the public eye.
Well, to Khalid's point, I was making assumptions because I don't know. I mean, I know who Will Smith is. I actually like some of his videos and stuff like that, but I don't know his wife. I don't know the whole story. So,
Yeah, but here's the point.
the only thing I heard was that Chris made fun of her disease, and that's why he hit her.
He made fun of her.
He made a joke.
Again,
I don't even know if he knew she had that.
And that's one of the considerations also. Whether or not he did, but then.
Hi, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Welcome to the show, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. WaterPros.net, as I said, brought to you by for water systems. You can get softeners in your whole house under around $2,000 actually. The price is raised with inflation around $21.95, I think. And water systems for drinking water at the fountain under $1,000. And speaking of water, by the way, that's WaterPros.net. And speaking of water, and speaking of the like, plumbing issues are big issues in a house. I think some of the biggest plumbing issues. I think people will let an electrical problem go. They might even put off a heating and air problem a little. I don't mean no heat, but I mean, like little problems. But it seems like the smallest plumbing leak, people call plumbers, except for toilets. Toilets are the most crazy invention. I like them. We all like them. We don't want to go to an outhouse, but man, the perfect toilet doesn't exist. Why haven't they improved that? That stupid flapper valve thing. Why haven't they improved that, Bob? Bob Logan, Plumbline Services. Why haven't they improved it?
I don't know, Tom. There are pressure-assisted toilets, which actually do help. They're pretty darn.
They don't have a flapper valve.
They don't. Well, they in a sense they do, but the water's pressurized through them, and you can still get the leaks. But we talked about this last time.
I hate them.
I got no idea why they haven't come up with a better
toilet. Now, I've seen some valves that kind of lift up, and it's like a whole thing that goes boom, back down. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It seems to have a more positive cover of the water, but I'll bet you all flapper valves leak a little.
Yeah, the old what the majority of toilets have out is the chain attached to the rubber
flapper valve,
and they don't seal well. They
oh my God,
they warp.
Yeah. Anyway, plumlineservices.com. We'll be talking to him. I want to talk now to Ted Rowland over at K&H, who went out and inspected a job for us. Where's the guy that, hold on, I don't want to get rid of that other guy too, the one with the, we're going to talk about with 1 hour. He wanted to talk. Is he online too still?
Well, he hung up, but I'll call him back.
Oh, okay. Oh, you don't have to call him back until I'm done, but we do want to talk to him about his problem. He said he had a problem with 1 hour heating and air or something. I wanted to go over that. Right now, Lucy, she complained about something, and I wanted my expert to go out and see it. And we use Ted Rowland a lot at K&H Home Solutions as an expert. They're really good people because they do window siding and doors, and they know window siding and doors. They did not do this job. Lucy called in, though, and I thought, let's see what's going on. So, Lucy, when you first called, you were complaining about, and we wanted to know about, this sliding door. Is that right, Lucy?
Yeah, that's correct. So,
and who did that? Who did that door?
It was Century Communities, and I think the door people are BMC.
Okay, now, is this door, what was the issue with the door?
So for an entire year, they were trying to adjust the door.
But why? Why adjust it? What was wrong with the door?
There was a gap in the top, and then it was closed at the bottom. So it was open at the top, letting air in, and closed at the bottom. So they adjusted it.
And was this a home or a condo? This was a home, right?
This is a condo.
Oh, a condo. Yeah. Okay. Now, and this is the one where you said it was also making popping and cracking sounds?
Yeah. And so one of the door companies realized that there was debris under the track that pops in at the floor, for the door.
Yeah.
And so they took it apart and said, "Oh wow, look at all this debris." They took it out, and so it kind of solved the clicking, corny sound when you open and close. But the door is bowed and it's hitting the frame. And supposedly the builder is supposed to order a new sash. According to the builder, they've had the sash on order since the end of February, and they're still waiting to hear back about the arrival of the sash. And, since they're still building 2 buildings behind me, I'm just wondering, what the issue is with the sash order.
Ted, I wanted him to look at it in general to see if it was warping, and why the heck would a door warp, and if it is warping, or if it was an installation problem. And Ted, what did you find?
Hey, good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
So what we found was the door does bump a little bit against the frame when you close it, but it's also an 8-foot tall door.
Wow.
8-foot tall door is going to have a lot of more flexion in it when you go to close it, and it seems like the glass in there might be bowed some, because when you stand in the middle and push the door from the center, it does bump up against the master frame a little bit.
Now, is that the the glass bowing or the frame or what? How does a glass door bow a little?
It's tough to tell. You know, over the years, every once in a while, we have gotten doors in where, you know, when they glaze it, the glass is bowed a little bit. And, you know, what we do is we just replace them. And apparently, according to Lucy, they've offered to replace that door panel. I think that's a good idea because, you know, you could put a new door panel in. You can see if that operates any better than what she has.
Okay.
And,
Does the installation look good other than the quality of the door?
Yeah, we checked the installation on it, and in general, the installation is pretty decent.
Okay.
What we did notice is that one operating panel, because they've adjusted the wheels underneath it,
yeah,
in order to try and get that, you know, what you talk about, the gap is the reveal on the door when you go to close it.
Yeah.
As you get closer to the frame, it's like more narrow at the top or the bottom and wider at the other end. It's still a little bit like that. And I think they've adjusted it about as much as they could adjust it, because when you look at the top of the door, one part of it is pretty deeply into the pocket, and the other part is just barely into the pocket.
And you think that might be solved by a new panel?
I think a new panel is probably about the only other thing left to do on it to get it right.
Okay. So what do you think, Lucy? Do you think they will do that for you, a panel? Did they offer that?
Well, yes. So they offered. I'm getting mixed messages, and so therefore I really appreciate
Sure.
Ted's professional opinion, and thank you for your services also. But yeah, so I kind of need something to tell them, although probably not coming from me. Now, the thing is that they promised the sash, you know, from the end of February, still not coming in. They don't know what the problem
I understand.
is.
Now, our deputy doc said that once we had K&H go out there, he would use the information to call them and simply say, you know, we had an independent look at this. It looks like you should, one of those panels is a bit warped. You should replace it. And then we can ask about the sash at the same time. But I think that's what we should do. We should have Doc call her. Meanwhile, Ted, thank you so much. And starting April, you're going to have some specials you want to tell us about?
Starting April, I think our specials are 30% off.
Right. Window siding and doors. Absolutely.
Yep.
And that's great. So as far as K&H, you can make an appointment at your home.
for your home. Get a no-cost, no-obligation offer at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.
With a new year comes new ways to save big. Belco Credit Union is offering 1% APY on a 24-month CD on balances of $500 or more. That's right, 1% APY on a 24-month CD. To get that higher rate, you typically need to be in a longer term. Stop by any Belco branch, call 1-800-BELCO-1, or visit belco.org/CD to open a CD online in minutes. Belco membership is required. Conditions and restrictions apply. Insured by NCUA. Belco, banking for everyone.
Frank Duran, the real estate man with RE/MAX Alliance. He is a certified negotiation expert, and he knows how to aggressively market your home.
With our specialized marketing knowledge, we aggressively implement the most advanced, innovative, and proactive marketing plan you will find anywhere.
For all things real estate, do not hesitate to call 303-920-1622 or get tips online at frankdurantherealestateman.com.
Poor Sam was a mess. Always itching, licking. His paws were soaking wet. He had bald spots on his back. DINOVITE.com. 2 weeks after he started Dynamite, I started seeing great improvements. And today, 99% of his issues are non-existent. Dynamite is nutrition. Dynamite is the best thing you can do for your dog.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynamite from DINOVITE.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
But we're back now, fellas.
Got it. Okay, well, guess what? I can't find where she sent me copy, and she said I swear to God, I'm looking for it everywhere. Let me see if we can. I know she probably did. You know what?
When's the last time you sold a car? Or do you always trade in?
Yeah, typically it's probably been 25 years since I sold a car.
Oh my God, okay. So you trade in.
Give us a call, 303.
Yeah.
The spread is so crazy.
I drive a couple times and I feel it.
Like his, trade in, let's just say, 58. And he could probably sell it all day for 75. I mean, the spread is huge now. In between that trade in and retail is getting worse. I mean, the gap is huge.
Yeah.
It used to be like 15, 20%.
Premier Members Credit Union. We'll be clearing things out today. Temperatures in the low 50s, so a little below average. We will get some sunshine, but
so you're saying because the spread is so big, you're better off selling it, not trading it in?
Way better off. Even the few bucks extra you get for sales tax isn't much.
Every detail of every mortgage to perfection. It's not just your mortgage loan, it's their masterpiece. Join them at
exactly what I tell people not to do with their furnaces. I got so much money that it's 2004. I put a new engine, new transmission, new manifold, new brakes. I rebuilt this stupid truck. And
how much is it worth?
And I drive it like 5 times a year. And
when you need a pickup.
Yeah.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. One Clear Choice Garage Doors is there for you. One Clear Choice Garage Doors. It's one of the finest companies for garage doors and for anything. They're so organized. You can call them 24/7 service for emergencies, that is. You can see all of their prices for openers, for springs, for anything wrong with the garage door on their website, oneclearchoicedoors.com. They fully put up their prices, full disclosure. 720-370-3987, 720-370-3987. I've used them 6 or 7 times for everything from a door to an opener to everything in between. And all the new technologies there with the apps, battery features, Wi-Fi, oneclearchoicedoors.com. Okay, so there, I got Bob back. He had disconnected before, and he was complaining about HVAC company called 1 Hour, I think it was. What is going on with 1 Hour Heating and Air, Bob? What's going on?
Yeah, my heater, my furnace went out, and they came in.
All right.
It was during that cold snap in January.
Yeah.
I think it was January. And, you know, I know nothing about that stuff, so they talked me into a heater. And
wait, you mean a brand new one?
Yes, a brand new one.
How old was yours?
Oh, it was like 15 years old, I think.
Yeah, it could be.
So I believe that part.
Whatever. It's sometimes. Bob, how long? What kind was it? Bob, what kind was it that you had?
Oh, I think a Lennox.
What do they last? 15 years or more?
Yeah,
15.
I'm asking Bob Logan from Plumline. How long do they last about?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I've heard them go out, as if you don't take care of them, as low as 12 years. But you'd have to wreck them, though.
Sometimes 7 or 8. I mean, a well-maintained furnace should last you 15 or 20 years.
Okay.
But here's the thing to keep in mind, and I say it time and time again. You can buy, and Lennox is a good brand. We sell Lennox. We sell Carrier. You can buy the best furnace money can buy, but if it's not installed properly,
or maintained,
or maintained, but the installation's the biggest.
You said that
you can maintain it all day long. If it's not installed properly, it's not going to last very long.
All right,
it's not going to be safe. It's not
all right. So it's not unheard of. You may have needed a furnace. What were the symptoms, by the way? Did they tell you what was wrong with your furnace?
They said that my AC was leaking and fried the circuit board.
Okay, that's weird. But anyway, go ahead. What happened then? You bought a new one. What did you buy?
Well, they had me. You know, they brought in their book, of course, and I looked at it and stuff, and I'm like, whoa, your furnaces are expensive.
Well, how much were they?
I didn't know.
Well, hold on. What were they quoting? What were the prices?
It was right now. They charged me almost $19,000.
Now, was that for,
around.
Hold on, was that for both a furnace and an AC?
Yes.
Okay, that's complete. That's both systems. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and what about the size of the home? Do you know what size?
little over 2,800.
Okay, that seems a little on the high side. Now, I say that because right now, this is a new world. I would say both systems can range from 12 at the very, very low. You're not going to go below 12 for both of them to a high of about 20. Would you say that's a good range, Bob?
That's pretty accurate. I'd be interested to know what model he got, what size, everything. Because again, it's like saying how much does
exactly
how much does a new car cost?
How much is a new car cost?
Well,
right. So Bob, tell us some more then. So are you having buyer's remorse right now?
Yes, because what happened was they quoted me this furnace, okay, and they come in and their installers come in and they didn't want to do all the extra work they were going to have to do, all these PVC piping and stuff they were going to have to do to put in an efficiency heater.
The upgrade, right?
Furnace,
right?
Yeah, they didn't want to do all that, so they told me, well, we have a different heater. Well, when they said different heater, I didn't know they were going to change the what's it called?
The efficiency?
97. Yeah, the efficiency.
So wait, so that 19 grand was quoted on a 97%?
97. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then when they changed you, what did they change you to?
80.
And you paid the same price?
Yes, they told me that it cost the same amount of money.
No.
How can that be the same amount of money? I said when you're changing.
That's not true, Bob. That was wrong. That was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that was wrong. They changed that. Did you call back to headquarters and say they changed the furnace from the one I was quoted to an 80%?
Yes, I did.
Did they
got
change?
into it with them.
Okay, what did they say?
She said, "Oh, you agreed to that." And
okay,
I said, no, I
did
didn't.
you sign a new contract?
No, I didn't.
Then you have them tear it out and put in the one you paid for or reduce the price. If you didn't sign a new contract, we're on their ass right now. This is wrong.
No.
This is just flat wrong.
No, I did not sign no new contract.
Does your contract say 97%?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you send us?
That's robbery, Tom.
Yeah, that is robbery. That is robbery.
96.
Listen. I'm going to tell you something. Good companies aren't cheap, okay? I'm not saying they're good or bad, but like Plumline or Fix It or Brothers or all these good companies, they're not cheap, but they're not going to sell you. They're not going to give you a price for a 97% and put in an 80%, and that's dead wrong. Now, what we need to do, hold on, we need to call them, but I want to see your contracts first. Hold on, Suze, talk to him off the air. This is wrong. Now, Albertus is on the line, one of my buds, and he found someone who got screwed. He referred him to the show. Albertus has done this in the past. Albertus, what's happening?
Hey, Tom. Hey, man. Thanks for taking our call.
Yes, sir.
I'm just trying to help. Well, full disclaimer, this is my nephew, but that has nothing to do with.
No, that's all right. That's all right. Your nephew, and is he there right now, Albertus?
Yes, he is.
Yes. How you doing, sir?
Oh, hello. And what is your name?
My name is Andre Ryan.
Andre, what happened? Why don't you tell your story?
Okay. From October to December, I was driving for a company called Rocky Mountain Coach LLC.
Rocky Mountain Coach LLC, okay.
Yes, it's a transportation service.
What were you driving?
I was driving Sprinter van.
Okay.
And we was they got a contract with United Airlines.
Okay.
And they had us going to pick up the stewardess and pilots.
Okay. Now, when did you work? Are you still working for him, Andre?
No.
Okay. When were you working for him? When were you working for him?
I say from October 15th to December 24th.
From October to December, okay.
2021.
21. Okay, what happened? Yeah. What went wrong? Albertus called me earlier, and he said they bounced your paycheck. Did they bounce all of them, or just one, or just how many?
Yeah, I have two checks right now from U.S. Bank, and I had tried to cash them, and they bounced on me.
Well, this is a no-brainer. We can help you with this. What do they say about it? How much of those two checks total?
It's like $632.
For both of them?
Yes.
Okay, totaling about $637. Okay, so what do they do? What are they saying about it?
I had before then, I was driving one of these shuttles. And I made a mistake and wrecked it.
Uh-oh. There could be, wait a minute, that could be what they're called. Well, no, they still shouldn't bounce a check. They would do an offset, but they wouldn't bounce a check on you.
Right.
So hold on a second. When you wrecked it, how did you wreck it? What were the circumstances?
I backed into the hotel, like a gutter, and the blinker.
But hold on. So you didn't wreck the whole thing. You had a minor accident. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Right. So did they say you had to pay for that damage?
No, they was telling me making excuses well, we're not going to charge you for the little accident you had, but we still going to pay you. Okay.
Well, they're supposed to. Now, when usually a business has insurance for those minor things, unless they found you were negligent for some reason. But here's what I want to know. Those two paychecks that bounced, when did you receive them?
I received one on the 24th of December, 2021.
Okay.
And, I received one on the 31st of December.
Okay. So you received one on the 21st and the 31st.
Yep, 24th and the 31st.
Okay, 24th and 31st. Okay.
Hey, Tom.
Yes.
Let me just say that when Andre called me about the situation, I said, "Hey, man, let's try to resolve. We can make a phone call. We got that kind of place."
And what happened?
But I called the guy. He talked to me. He was, oh, Albert, I've heard you on the radio. You've been on the Tom Martino show and this and that and all that. I said, yeah. I said, Tom's a friend of mine. I said, but hey, here's the deal. What about these 2 bounce checks? And then I'm hearing that there's other employees whose checks have bounced. He said, well, let's deal with this situation right now. I said, okay. He said, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll go talk to the 2 owners, Janet and Melissa, and I will get that. I'll get a cashier's check. You have Andre bring me the 2 bounce checks. I would give him a cashier's check for the $600-something, and he then in turn will give us the 2 bounce checks, and we'll move on.
Did he do that?
Well, no. 3 weeks went by. He never called me back. I finally called. I said, hey, man, what are you going to do? And he said, I will get back to you. I don't write the check and this, that. And then let me just tell you, I had a reporter friend of mine call these people up. So this stuff is getting really deep. He called them, and then he told the reporter yesterday that he didn't write the check. He's not in control of the checkbook, and so therefore, it's out of his hands.
Hold on a sec. I have a couple questions here. Who's the owners up there? Who owns that place?
Janet and Melissa.
Janet and Melissa who?
I don't know their last name.
Okay.
I don't know their last
and Albertus, who did you talk to?
I talked to Dan, and I have Dan's phone number.
Oh, hold on. And what is Dan?
He's
a supervisor.
Oh, hold on. Dan is a supervisor, and what is his number?
Andre,
one moment. I can give you one more. I can give it to you. One moment.
Yeah, I want Dan's number.
Wouldn't the wage and hour board take care of this?
Yes.
Immediately?
Hold on.
720.
Yeah.
485.
Yeah.
7046.
7046?
Yes.
My question, Deputy Doc just brought up, why didn't you call the wage and hour board? They'll take care of this in no time.
We wanted to just get it all done. We just wanted to make a phone call.
All right, we have a number of things you should do. Do you realize, Andre, was this a regular W-2?
Yes.
Okay, you can sue for triple damages. Did you know that?
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah, in small claims court for $1,800, you can do that. I think you have to make demand. I think you can argue you already made demand. Albertus, we're going to call him anyway, but do you realize it's kind of better if he went to small claims court, he could get a judgment for like $1,800 and collect from them, or take one of the vans. I'm not kidding you, by the way. If he really they don't fool around. They don't fool around with wages. Now, he's got to keep... Now, hold on. Deputy Doc, would you make a call over there, too?
Sure.
All right, hold on.
Hold on. Get some info for that.
You just wrote it down.
Yeah. Dan's number is 720-485-7046. But call Andre or Albertus.
Yeah, I will.
This report is sponsored by
These aren't bad. I decided to try one of them. These actually aren't bad.
They got all the juice in them besides the sugar?
They don't have any sugar. No, zero sugar.
Zero sugar, but they got
And
all the
very
caffeine and
little,
stuff.
and very little of that drag aftertaste.
That's right.
Like that drag aftertaste kills me. I want real sugar.
I love it.
But this is not bad. Excited I try one. See how they roll.
Sunny tomorrow, mid to lower 60s, and a chance of rain Friday morning. Otherwise, partly sunny.
I was so bad with Diet Coke. I would drink 5, 6, 7 a day.
I know, I got that with 0, but this is just as bad.
Need new blinds or shades?
I used to go through a 12.
Custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blinds for blinds.
Okay, guys.
Guaranteed to fit, and right now save 45% off any order. Just use code radio at checkout. Blindster.com.
I want you to make a note of this website. It's really serious. It's good. You can trust them. My money myway.com. It'll tell you about some money strategies that can help you. For example, if you have a lump sum of cash, you can buy an annuity if you're getting close to retirement, and you can actually buy income. Deputy Doc did that all at once. He did a lump sum and bought this annuity that gave him income for life along with a 3% kicker every year. Now, you can take that from a qualified plan. You can take that from a lump sum somewhere else. Now, there's another thing called Become the Banker, where you overfund life insurance, and that grows tax-free. Whatever the strategy, you can find out both of them at mymoneymyway.com.
The podcast deep into new technology and the challenges facing people at the top of their field. On each episode, Jacob Goldstein,
I'm curious on, so unfortunately we have guys getting fender benders all the time, and now we have $100,000 deductible, but we used to charge them $1,000 to cover the deductible, and we had to refund a bunch of people. We were told we cannot charge people for having accidents.
No, because it can't come out of their wages. You're right.
What can't come out of wages?
Damages, because unless you have a separate agreement that they pay separately, you can offset, but you have to have a separate agreement.
How about if it's in the employment manual, though?
Yeah, you have to have a separate agreement. They have to agree to it.
Well, we did have an employment manual, so this is 7 or 8 years ago.
Let's call John.
We had a $1,000 deductible for accidents. So we always told people, if you get an accident, you're going to pay the deductible. And we were charging people.
But then, when you're talking to your friends, about things you're truly interested in, and
Did you really?
about, you sound like you're alive and loving every moment of it.
I wonder why.
Maybe you should try
I did for uniforms. It was spelled right out in my manual. It said, if you lost your uniform, you had to pay for it. I mean, simple as that. So I deduct that from their last
Can you get John Davis on? I want to talk about the concept of offsetting. When people, when employees damage or things are missing.
That was another thing, is like we'll issue an iPad, an iPhone, and a bunch of equipment. And if someone quits and they don't turn it in, I always said, well, hold their last paycheck until they turn it in. And Labor Board said, nope, you got to pay them, even if they have your stuff. You cannot hold it. They said you got to.
You know, we've had some programs over the years that never worked. People claiming they were an employee trying to get unemployment when they were doing outside sales.
Saying they were not an employee?
Saying they were an employee.
Oh.
Like a W-2 when they weren't. They were clearly not. And we passed that test. We passed it.
You got a truck. What were you talking about?
Oh, my pickup trucks? Yeah, so it's a 2004 Ford F-150. It's a great truck. But it was my daughter's truck, and she kept having problems with it. So I said, you know what? I think at this time she needed a transmission or something. It was like $7,000. I'm like, just and maybe a manifold. I said, how about if I just give you the $7,000 and I'll pay you a little bit for the truck. Go buy something new, because there's one thing after another. So since then, I put a manifold, a transmission, an engine. I basically rebuilt the entire truck, and that's one of the reasons I held on to it, because I'm like, I'm never going to get what I put into it. But it's.
How's the interior?
I think for the exterior is great for a 2004. The interior, has cloth seats and they're warm, but so you asked me if it's in good shape. I think it's in great shape now, because but it seems like every time I turn around, there's something else going on.
You could how much do you think you could get for it?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I should just.
Nobody answers the damn phone.
I have no idea.
Just put on Craigslist.
What do you want for it? I have no idea. I mean, I spent $15 when I bought it, and I've got to put in another $20.
Grand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You like that truck?
No, I don't.
He just got stuck in it.
It's a cool looking truck. I like it. But yeah, it's like
COVID.gov. Oh man, COVID's back again.
COVID.gov.
I haven't seen COVID come out of that man's mouth in a month.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHOW.
You're right, though. As soon as Putin went into Ukraine, COVID was over.
Let's go.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter 303. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Now, when he said he had a wreck, what he meant was a minor fender bender on a truck or a car, and he works, or whatever damages are done by employees. There's a question as to whether or not an employer can offset those damages. But by the way, I want to mention something that has nothing to do with bounce checks. They should never have issued the checks, and we understand that the bounce checks were issued to more than just him. There are other employees at Rocky Mountain Coach LLC that have bounce checks. Dan is the supervisor over there. Janet and Melissa are the owners. Dan says, we'll make good on that check, or those checks. He told Andre's uncle, Albertus, and Dan hasn't done that yet. Now, let's talk on a separate issue about offset. Bob Logan was told at Plumline that if they do damage to a van, you can't charge that to an employee. Is that right? I mean, you're in business every day, so you heard. How long ago was that you were told that?
This was maybe 6 or 7 years ago. Maybe, but yeah, we were told if a technician or somebody does damage to one of our trucks, that we cannot charge them.
Really?
Right.
I wonder, though, I understand that, because you're supposed to insure them and all that, and that would take them possibly below minimum wage. It could, you know what I mean? It could affect their wages. But I wonder if you had an agreement with them as an employee that they would be responsible for, let's say, the deductible or something.
At the time, it was in our handbook that they would pay for the deductible.
Really?
Deductible. So
and the labor board told you you can't do it?
We went through a labor audit, and of course they scrutinized everything. And
and they said you can't do it.
That's I wasn't involved in that audit at that time.
Okay.
It was our controller.
Okay. And then what about if they have uniforms or iPads or equipment?
That was another thing we were told, because we do issue a lot of equipment to employees, and if they quit or we terminate them, and they're holding on to that equipment, we were told that we still have to issue their last paychecks, that we cannot hold on to those, even if they have our equipment.
I used to deduct, I had almost 50 employees that all had uniforms, and if they got their final check, whether they quit or I terminated them, I always deducted the uniforms.
Yeah, but you had them sign to agree to that in their employment agreement.
Right. Well, so did Bob in his employment agreement, and an audit told him you can't do it.
I don't think we ever did we ever get audited at any of those stores, babe?
Probably not.
We did.
Good thing, Mark.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I would like to know, we have a lot of business owners that listen. Do you have employees that you have dinged or offset for damages or equipment or keeping stuff on the way out the door? Have you ever done that?
And I'm curious, Tom, because as with many of these subjects, it's interpretation of the law, right?
Right.
And so perhaps it was this specific auditor that was telling us her interpretation.
No, that's true. That's true. 303-713-TALK. Has that ever happened to you? Are you in business and you offset an employee? What if you had an employee, though, that kept the work computer or the workstation or whatever, credit card reader or whatever? I mean, certainly they're not allowed to keep it. And what about uniforms? What about motor vehicles? Now, certainly if they don't return a motor vehicle,
that's theft.
I mean, yeah, that would be, well, yeah, so could equipment, I guess. But I'd like to know your idea, if you're in business, if this has happened to you. Meanwhile,
we went through one of those here, remember? We went through a full unemployment state of Colorado audit.
That's
not
right.
Unemployment,
no, it was wage and hour.
It was, yeah, it was wage and hour. Man, they were here for 3 or 4 days. The guy set up camp downstairs. We came out perfectly clean, but man, they go through everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah, and you know the main thing they want to know, and I've learned a lot in that one. We were shocked, and I'm going to tell you some stuff that's going to blow your mind, what I found out in a labor audit. And in fact, it'll blow your mind whether you're in business or not. In fact, if you have house cleaners, plumbers, anybody come to your home, you wait till what I talk about.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is spot. You're going to talk about the fact that you're their only customer.
What, did I tell you that before?
You've been on the air about it.
Okay, I'm going to do it again. You have too good of a memory, asshole. I want this to be fresh stuff.
I'll tell you what, it was funny. This is
But
true
Tom,
story,
it seems
man.
to me like
We
you
had an
have to pay
employee
them their
here.
paycheck and then go after them in small claims court.
Fired her for theft. She had a company credit card once a week, and it took us forever to find out. She'd stop at the liquor store on Friday, buy cigarettes, fucking liquor, the whole bit, man. Did it for a fucking year probably. Fired her, okay? She went down to claim unemployment. We had proof that she stole all this shit. Guess if she got unemployment.
Of course she did.
She got fucking unemployment. Never had to pay a nickel back either. Mind-numbing.
Hey, if you're in trouble with a DUI or any other crime, we can go over why you shouldn't be, but I'm not going to. I'm going to tell you this. If you're guilty, innocent, made a mistake, whatever it is, there's a fact that remains. You need a criminal defense attorney to get through the system. Don't ever try to do it alone. And you shouldn't shop under pressure. I've shopped for you. I've known him for 30 years. Joseph A. Lazara. Free initial consultations. And then after that, it's a flat rate he'll give you for what he does for you. 303-429-6200. 303-429-6200. When you have an insult to your property, and I don't mean somebody calling your house ugly. I mean if you have a flood, a fire, if you have frozen pipes, if you have asbestos, mold, let's say you have an unattended death, or one of your rentals there's a meth lab. No fooling. You need a restoration company. And while insurance pays for most restoration companies, and American Restoration will work with your insurance, listen to this. If you make the bad mistake, the wrong mistake, they're not going to pay you twice. We've had people who blew the entire wad, blew it, on a bad restoration company, and then couldn't get the money that they needed to restore their property. So make the right decision the first time, whether insurance is paying or not. American Restoration 24/7 is a fine restoration company I know and trust. The people I would use. Rock and his team have all the EPA certifications to mitigate and destroy the toxic substances, get them out of your way, and then rebuild if you want. They'll do as little or as much as you want them to do. Here's the important thing. They're honest. 8337-AMREST. 8337-AMREST. Online, it's amrest247.com.
What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s and brushing your teeth in the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose? After all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping dirt and germs, the first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you clean your nose? With Navage. Navage isn't medicine, it's more like plumbing. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril to the very back of the nose where germs can get trapped and multiply.
So and then out the other nostril. I'm going to have to ask Suzanne what it's called, but it's about the mother is hooked on pills, big time. I mean, like crazy. And she's old. She's probably in her 70s. And she's just on these pain pills all the time, high as a kite. And then the kid and his wife, her son and his wife, are on heroin big time. And they'll do anything for heroin.
Sounds like a pretty happy family to me.
It is the most intense movie. I'll tell you what, every kid should have to watch that movie. I bet they won't do any fucking drugs if they watch that movie. Really? Now they might be damaged for life, but they won't be damaged by the drugs. God damn it! What is the name of that? Requiem for a Dream. Have you seen it?
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
Requiem for a Dream.
You know what else is a pretty deep movie? It's kind of old though. It's called Less Than Zero with Robert Downey, and it looked like the Breakfast Bunch. All of those. That movie is awesome.
I don't think I've seen it.
Less Than Zero. Cocaine, right? It's about cocaine. It's about cocaine and crack cocaine. Less Than Zero. Robert Downey.
The Brat Pack.
Yeah, all of them. already.
And they're all big time addicted?
No, just Robert Downey is big time addicted. James Spader is the dealer.
And what about, is Judd Nelson in it?
I don't know which one
Judd Nelson's not. I think Molly Ringwald.
Molly Ringwald's in it, yeah.
Shit, that is a Rat Pack.
Oh, it's
no, Brat Pack. Brat Pack is like Joey Bishop, Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
Frank Sinatra.
It's actually a very, very good movie, and if you're following it, and if you were watching what went on in Robert Downey's life, it's like, wow, dude, you like made it out barely, but in
he was in real life. He was in a lot of that shit.
But in the movie, he died.
He was doing an interview on Stern within the last 4 or 5 years, and they were filming some movie. It might have been Spider-Man, I forget, but there was some girl in it.
Hey, do you think Compass could weigh in on that?
He went over into her trailer when he was drunk at night, while they were filming, and took his shit like on a plate in her trailer. True fucking story, man.
Yeah, he was messed up.
He was really fucked up. Who is it?
Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. Oh, Iron Man, I think it
He's
was.
He's clean now, though, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Hey, Mike, what's going on in your life, Mike?
Well, I'm getting by anyway, Tom. I'm a big avid listener.
I'm glad to hear you're getting by. I need all the listeners I can get, and so you got to make me a promise that if you want to check out or die, you got to get someone to take your place.
You got it.
All right.
Got it.
What's going on with you?
My daughter got in an accident. It was the other guy's fault. They came back with the lowest offer, like the car that she has. The lowest I found was $14,000. Right. The highest was $18,000.
Hold on one sec. They lowballed you, and the bottom line, they won't pay you what it's worth. And I want to tell people, I'm purposely waiting till after the hour. I got a note here why it can backfire. This labor audit, what we found out about it, if you have plumbers, anybody come to your house, anybody, anything, not just like maids and not just like a lawnmower. I'm talking about regular mainstream businesses come to your home. The result of this audit we had for from the Labor Department taught us you can be stung, and I'm going to go over it. I just want to make that announcement now. I didn't do it because we only have a few minutes left to this hour. I'm going to do it right after the open. So, okay. Now, here's what we do, Mike, usually. What kind of car? We got to know the make and model because that's the important thing. What is the make and model?
2000.
Hold on. Okay, you're cutting out. Do it again.
2014 Ford Escape SE.
Okay, you're not going to have a lot of diminished value on older, lower-priced cars.
Wait,
you will.
I think they're totaling it, though, right?
Yes.
Oh! That's right. You're looking for the total, and they're not giving you a fair price. We definitely have someone who can help with that. So, what are they offering? How many miles were on it?
93,000.
Okay. What are they offering you?
14,100.
Wow. I don't know.
What was it again, though? 2000 what?
Okay, hold on. I got it written down here. You don't have to repeat it, sir. 2014 Ford Escape SE, 93,000 miles. Okay. And they're offering $14,000?
Yes.
And what do you think you should get?
Well, what I've been looking and researching, it goes 14 was the bottom and 18 was the top. So I'm asking for 60.
Oh,
I'll drop down to 15.
Okay, are they including sales tax?
No, sales tax. They said they would add an extra $1,500.
Good, but you're on the 14. That's the car itself, right?
Yes.
We
just had a brand new transmission put in it.
Okay, see, people say that all the time, and I don't.
Is it the titanium or just the SE?
It's just the SE, all-wheel drive with the turbo.
Okay, we're going to ask one of our experts, our valuation experts, and one thing I want to ask him in general is, do you get credit for that transmission? or for tires, or for anything else you've done, because people always say that. And Mike, I think what I'm going to do is wait till after we're going to get them on right afternoon. And I'll tell you why. I want to give this some time because that's an important issue. I do know they offer a service, though, at Petty Details, our expert, where they will evaluate and give you an estimate of that car for you, and they will tell you if you're high or low. Right, Mark? Don't they do that as part of their service?
Oh, that is their...
But don't they have a complimentary service they do for no charge, I thought?
Well, let's get them up.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that coming up, all right? Now, on water heaters, Bob, you said the price of water heaters have gone up. Somebody here wants to know, does it have to do with instant water heaters? That's what they're calling them, but the on-demand water heaters as well?
Yeah, the tankless, everything's gone up.
Okay, and are tankless water heaters easy to get now?
Right now they are. Right now we have a pretty good supply.
And are a lot of people getting them?
We do. It's every year it becomes a bigger and bigger part of our business.
And that's PullMineServices.com. We have more coming up. That's Bob, the owner and president over there. We have more. Stick around on the Troubleshooter Show. 303-713-TALK.
Is it safe on the men's room yet?
Oh God, I didn't say do it. I thought, okay, good.
It's been a half hour.
Yeah,
and the fan is always on.
Oh.
Mark, have you found that a lot of these businesses that we call up that are a little bit sketchy always have an answering service so they can screen the calls and not take calls from people they don't want to?
I'm sorry, say it again, Doc.
Have you found that a lot of these sketchy companies have everything go to their voicemail so that they can not have to deal with the people they don't want to deal with? That they deliberately don't answer the phone?
Yeah, what about it?
Well, I'm just saying that I found so many times when we call these people up, it goes right to voicemail.
Yeah, I believe it.
That way they don't have to talk to angry customers or people like us.
Well, they only have to call back real leads.
Yeah. And then if the person sounds black, they don't call them back. Right, Tweed?
I don't know. I don't know.
I was just kidding.
I know. I know you were kidding, Doc. I don't know, though. I'm trying to figure out why you hung up on me the other day when I called you. Is it because I sounded...
No, because it was you.
It was race. It was you. Nothing to do. It was me. Okay. Yeah, Spader was awesome in less than zero, John Libby. Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I started watching him at that point.
They are able to really defeat Russia in certain places. If Vladimir Putin's not hearing that will prolong...
Wicked in this movie. James Spader, he was the drug dealer.
I'm going to find out. Hold on here.
He was wicked. Ooh. And turned poor little Robert Downey out. I mean, turned.
Yeah, he's like a hell of a transformation.
I mean, turn him out. Just, turned him out like a turns of hope. I'm telling you. It was wicked. I must have watched that movie 6 times in a row. Just not to miss nothing.
Carried them back to Earth. The 355-day mission came against the backdrop of Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the resulting U.S. sanctions. London actually tried to abandon Brenda High on the ISS, but in the end did bring it back to Earth.
We've all heard that money can't buy happiness, but if you have $18,000, you can earn a degree in it. Centenary University in New Jersey is offering the first ever master's degree in happiness studies. Program launching virtually.
Happiness studies.
Cover all ABC News. Here's the deal.
Now there's an ad here that just popped up. 5-pack of COVID tests for $35. Why would you buy that when you can just click and get them free from the government?
is a
Well,
prescription
who's
medicine
selling?
that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain associated with blood or stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by Happy Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
K-How News Time, 12:03. The Aurora City Council this week passed an urban camping ban that requires a 72-hour notice before clearing out encampments. It is important to not enable this behavior. I mean, if they are, limiting the situation without sanitation, really affects public health for businesses around there. Aurora Mayor Mike Kaufman says there will be a long-term treatment program for those suffering from drug and alcohol addiction, and he plans to propose expanding the Ready to Work program for homeless individuals. Yesterday's wet weather is helping firefighters. The NCAR fire in Boulder County up to 90% containment with 190 acres burned. Management of fighting the fire has been transitioned to the city of Boulder. In Larimer County, the Soulshine fire east of Estes Park has burned just over 14 acres and is 75% contained. Evacuation orders for residents along Soulshine Road have been downgraded from mandatory to voluntary. That's the latest. I'm Chad Bauer. Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Premier Members Credit Union.
And some road work to keep in mind. East 58th Avenue, they're still doing work on that broken water main. Expect that to be closed at least through tomorrow. It's between Franklin and then York. Up in the high country, they're doing road work on Highway 6 between Highway 119 and 93 or Clear Creek Canyon. There's alternating traffic. They'll do that until about 16. Your Fox 31 pinpoint weather. Mostly sunny today. 51. We'll see gusts and tides about 25 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy tonight and windy as well. Cold, 28 for the low. 7 tomorrow, into over 15. And a chance of rain Friday. Otherwise, partly sunny and 57. Right now, it's 37. With your Impact Traffic and weather, I'm Katie Mitchell at 30 K-How.
At Premier Members, we personally handcraft every detail of every mortgage to perfection. It's not just your mortgage loan, it's their masterpiece. Join them at becomepremier.com. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal housing lender. MLS 416701.
Hi, everybody. Jack Morgan, voice of your Colorado Rockies. Join me and MLB legend Cal Ripken Jr. for the 2022 Sports Breakfast at Ball Arena, supporting the Boy Scouts of America. It's April 6th from 7 to 9 a.m. You'll hear amazing scout backstories, meet local sports stars and celebrities, and of course hear from the Hall of Famer Cal Ripken himself. For more information, go to denverboyscouts.org/sportsbreakfast. Register to attend today.
Do you get personal attention from your business credit card processing or POS system? Dealing with out-of-state companies is frustrating. Michael Brown here, and I want you to get in touch with Rocky Mountain Credit Card. They've been providing local business owners with custom credit card processing and POS solutions for nearly 2 decades. Visit RockyMountainCreditCard.com and click the Michael Brown special link to check out a great offer that includes free lifetime equipment, no gateway fees, and a $1,000 add-on bonus. Rocky Mountain Credit Card, your local merchant services company.
Reach out to Tom Martino and let your voice be heard. Call, text, talk back anytime with our free iHeartRadio app. While streaming K-How with a full screen player, just click the microphone to record your message. Talk back to Denver's talk station now.
That everything I see on that dude's car is like 12 grand. I must be looking something up wrong.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hey, Tom Martino here. Welcome to the show. The only show of its kind anywhere, brought to you by Claims Pro. If you have an insurance claim, you need the help of an insurance adjuster on your side. They're called public adjusters. You know, at referralist.com, we believe in public adjusters. One of them is Claims Pro. Peter Rodolfo. Peter is in the Denver office at Claims Pro, 833-252-4600. They can open up any claim with you and help you get the most money, the most out of it, or that's just for home, of course, and they can also help you review your claim to make sure you're being treated fairly, and they work on contingency only, and they always can get you better than you do on your own. In fact, they'll take a free look at your claim before you file it to see what they think. Claims Pro. That's publicadjuster.pro, publicadjuster.pro. Welcome to the show. I have Bob Logan with me from Plumbline Services. We've been talking a little bit about plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains. Mike has a problem that he's being lowballed by his insurance. Mike, let me talk to you, and then I'm going to be talking about a nightmare with hiring people for your home and something we found out in a labor audit. Now, Mike, we have an expert. His name is Justin Petty. His company is Petty Details, and what they do is they have a service whereby they'll help you get the most for your salvage or your wreck or whatever, your total. And they have a complimentary service, and then they have a higher level service that you hire. It's a flat rate. And they are usually successful in getting people to goose up the price if he thinks it's unfair. First, he takes a look at it free of charge. If he doesn't think he can help you, he's going to say, hey, Mike, they're offering you enough. I don't think we can get you any more money. So he is not available right now. He is actually in trial right now because he testifies for people. That's how far he goes. He's a forensic expert on loss of value or diminished value, and also on total claims. So we're going to have you back tomorrow with him on, and we'll get you some expert advice, okay?
Sounds great. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so hang on, and we'll make sure you're being treated fairly at a 2014 Ford Escape SE, 93,000 miles. 303-713-TALK. So I want to lay this out to you, folks. It's a true story. Let's say that you hire an independent plumber to come to your home. You like the guy. He fixes your toilet. You don't think twice about it. He fixes your toilet. Okay, now, let's say he's lazy and he doesn't really take on much work for the next few months. And you call him again for something. And by the way, you don't have to call him twice, even if you just called him once. If you were his only client, how long did they say? 6 months, Mark?
I don't even think it was that long.
It could have been a quarter. If you're his only client, the state of Colorado can claim you're his employer. Hold on now. Now listen. It doesn't matter if he has ABG plumbing service. Doesn't matter. If you're his only client, the state can determine that that company's bogus and he's your employee and penalize you for his workers' comp and all the other payments you should be making for him. And I swear to God, we drilled this guy and said, are you kidding me? Because I'm telling you, it can happen. So any service, that doesn't just go for a plumber. Anyone that does work for you in your home, even if they have what you believe is an established company, and they come to your home, and they don't go anywhere else, or they decide to just lay back, or they like doing work for you, or whatever reason, they don't get any other calls, you can be popped with all of their HR expenses and withholding taxes. Absolutely, positively, I am not kidding you. So it's not only important that you find a good company to come to your house, you know, Plumbline Services is visiting today, for example. But it's important that they are prolific and have varied customers, or you could be screwed. If you hire a mom and pop decorator to come to your home or paint your house, and they don't take on any other people for the next several months, and they are unloading a ladder from their truck into their own home to store it, and they get hurt, the state can come after you because you're the only one that they work for, even though it wasn't set up that way. He's supposed to have a business, or this mom and pop, but they decided, we're laying back, we're going to retire. I know it sounds crazy, but if we did not hear it directly from the auditor, and we grilled this auditor, now here's why it came up. We have some outside salespeople from time to time. They can come and go as they please. They use all their own stuff. We don't tell them what to do, when to do it, where to do it, how to do it. They do whatever, and they work on commission. And the guy said, do they sell for other people? And I said, yeah, they're supposed to, because we're not tying them down. He said, well, you better make sure they do. Because if they don't sell for other people, at least once in a while, then they're your employee. Now, a lot of people are skating on thin ice right now. Or the other thing he did say, in a case of outside salespeople, not service people, but outside salespeople, you have to just prove they're available to sell for others. Didn't he say that?
I don't recall that part, but everybody that we had at the time did sell other things.
No, I understand that, but they have to be available to sell. But when it comes to a plumber, or when it comes to an electrician, or when it comes to a lawnmower, or when it comes to a maid or house cleaner, or whatever you want to call them, when it comes to a haircut, if you're the only client in several months, the state can determine they're your employee.
And for the companies out there that hire people as independent contractors to try to save the taxation, if you tell them where to be, how to be, what to bring, or give them any tools, or even print them a business card with your name on it, that's an employee. Bottom line.
No, well, okay. You can print, now this is where it gets complicated. You can print stuff for them on what they're selling, but you can't do things for them.
You're not supposed to provide them with anything.
That's right.
So if you had business cards made for them, you're providing.
No, but if they're selling your windows, you're allowed to make brochures for those windows.
Sure you can.
Right. But you can't do anything for the sales person themselves.
And you can't tell them what hours to work.
Not at all. Nope.
You can't give them a company car or a car.
Nope. It's really way more. See, a lot of people try to cheat the system that way, and then somebody gets hurt, and you end up personally liable for them.
One of the big things you can do is you make sure they sign an independent contractor agreement.
Right.
And on top of that, you have them open up, you pay an LLC or a corporation. You don't pay them directly. If you're paying a independent contractor, Joe Smith, and writing the check out to Joe Smith, that's not a good thing right there.
Now, Yvonne, what's going on with you?
We're getting ready to sell an investment property, and we're not reinvesting in another investment property, so we're not doing a 1031 exchange. And I'm wondering if there's any alternatives.
None that I know of. Now, there was a guy that called us. Did we take his number down? He called us and said, I have a wonderful lawyer who knows how to get people out of paying capital gains. Do you remember that last week? Okay.
Yeah.
It was just last week.
And
I said, get his number, Suze. I said, I think he was from Florida.
Yeah, he sounded like he was from Florida.
Are you talking about Dave Terry? I can call him.
Now, why do you say Dave? Why'd you know his name right away?
Well, because he's in my contacts. He texts the show all the time. I'm pretty sure that was him.
Ask Dave tell him we want to chew the fat on getting around capital gains.
Yeah, but when you asked him before, you said, give me an example. It was all mum's the word, top secret.
No, just hold on. Yvonne, here's the short answer. If you, the purpose of a 1031 is to defer gain. What, by the way, is your actual, now, you don't know what your deferred gain is going to be, but you know what your basis is, because the idea is you take your gain into the new property, and that subtracts from your basis. You know that, right? Okay. So what is your basis of today's property that you have?
I do not know because we haven't gotten an estimate on it or anything. It's just
No,
it's
that's not.
something-
No, you don't need an estimate for your basis. You would absolutely, positively know your basis. What you do is
it's my property, but it's not really my property. It's my husband's property, and he's the one that is going to do the transaction.
okay. So your husband's property, approximately, what did he pay for it? And we're just shooting the fat here. I'm not trying to.
I think he owes, if I recall on the top of my head, us having the conversation, I think he owes a little over $100,000 because he refinanced it.
But what did he buy it for? That's the most important part. What did he buy?
Bought it for, I believe he bought it for
The purchase price.
$107,000.
107.
I think so.
Okay, let's say he bought it for 107. How much profit did he make from the previous deal that he 1031 into this? Do you remember?
Well, that was his first home. So
he never. Yeah. Okay, got it. So he never did a 1031 before. Okay, so so if he bought it for 107,000, what do you think it will sell for?
I'm thinking if we put a little work into it, maybe 270, 280.
Okay. So the work you put into it, you'd be able to write off. But let's just say 270, okay? And then you have 107 in it, and let's say you invest another, 20 in it to make it right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So 120, you would owe, I mean, let's say your basis is 130 after you, let's just say it's 130. So if you take 270 and you subtract 130, it's going to give you a gain. That gain's going to be 140. And before you go crazy on, are there any alternatives to 1031? A lot of people overestimate what they're going to owe. On 140,000, you're going to only owe 15% federal and 5% state.
Yeah, but all the years you guys owned it, how much money did you put into that house already? Forget about the 20 you're talking about.
Right, and that's the thing that we have to go over with our tax accountant.
Right, and so he's not going to know. You just got to have a known number. I think it would be reasonable to say 40,000 if that's what it is. So now you've got 150 plus a 20, 170 in it.
Yeah. So here's the deal. What we're getting at, Yvonne, is it's one of the least examined transactions from the IRS. We're not suggesting you lie, but you have to count every penny you put into that property for permanent improvements. And again, we'll try to get our expert on to talk about alternatives to 1031s if there are any.
There are a lot.
I'm curious if her husband bought it as an investment property, because it almost sounds like he owned it, and then they got married.
And they refied it in her name, because he refied it. And now it's in her name, which is weird.
She didn't say it was her name. She said it was his name.
Yeah, his name.
No, she said it's my house, but he's the one doing the sale and everything.
No, she said it's our house, but he owned it. It was his house, so that's why I'm thinking maybe it was his primary residence, which would completely change the game.
Hey, we were just talking about
selling houses. You know, you can sell houses the conventional way, or you can simply make a phone call and get a check in a few days. They're not going to turn your house down. That's up to you. So if you have deferred maintenance, an older house, maybe you don't want to do work on it, you don't want inspections, you don't want to wait for loan approval, you don't want anything of the sort. You don't want to list it, you don't want to show it. Call Homevestors and see what they'll give you. Now, I'm not suggesting you'll get more than the market, but you never know. They've purchased over 3,000 homes. Give them a call. All you have to say is no if you don't like the price. 800-44-BUYER. 800-44-BUYER. Hey, I have two medical facilities that I highly recommend. One will come to you, RockyMountainIVMedics.com. They come to you with medical professionals. They'll come to your home. They'll come to your office. They even meet people at truck stops like truckers over the road. Really, if you want IV therapy, the most common therapy there is for hydration, for vitamin deficiencies, migraines, hangovers, whatever. If you have the flu, it helps you. It's a great therapy. It's used all over the place. Now you can get it at home Of course, it's all doctor supervised and directed and medical professionals in your home, and you won't pay any more than you would if you went to an IV bar. 720-987-2155. Now, you can text that number for even same-hour appointments. They'll answer you right back. 720-987-2155. The other medical facility is Colorado Pain Care. It's somebody that I credit, or the clinic I credit, for getting me out of pain, and I mean really chronic pain. It's a wonderful thing what they did for me, and they can do it for you. Plus, if you have an acute pain, it's called Colorado Pain Care Sport and Spine because most of the stuff boils down to that, but they can do any pain you encounter. They work with all major insurance. ColoradoPainCare.com, open 7 to 7 with various locations for your convenience. Call them 303-GOT-PAIN.
You ever feel like when you're at work, everything you say sounds like this because you're completely unstimulated and you don't care?
You used to have a prolotherapist that was on your referral
Yes,
list.
yes.
Do they do prolotherapy at this pain clinic?
No, I don't. You know what? I think they do PRP, I think. But I don't know that, actually, because I never had that done.
Have what done, Bob?
Prolotherapy?
Hello?
Prolo?
What is that?
It's,
Well, I mean, it stands for light therapy, but what they do is they, pure prolotherapy, they go into the injured place.
Yeah.
And they inject an irritant like some cayenne pepper and
Right.
sugar water or something. And what that does is it
causes inflammation, right?
It causes the fibroblast cells to clean it out,
Right.
the inflammation, the heat, and natural healing. And it works tremendously.
It does. I've had it done in my neck.
The clinical studies are outrageous on it. Now, PRP is kind of prolotherapy. It was almost exactly the same, except what they inject.
Yeah.
With prolotherapy, it causes inflammation and all. With PRP, it does too, but it's platelet-rich plasma, platelets, which take the place of the irritant, and so it grows faster, new tissue.
Right.
And that works well too. Now, some people think that the PRP is better, but it depends on what it's for.
Device uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril.
When I was in college, I
back of the nose,
got part of my head and pressed my neck and everything.
and then out the other nostril.
And every time I turned, I'd do this, and I'd prolotherapy in my neck.
Deeper, snoreless, and
What is it to do? I didn't even hear it.
It's
Is it a
it's
shot?
almost like a cortisone shot, but there's no medicine. It's like
An irritant.
And so
It
your
irritates.
body is saying, hey, something's wrong here.
So it sends everything to fix it.
They put it that exactly. That's exactly right. And they put a micro amount in there. They don't put a lot.
They do that with something else that's real popular.
PRP is what he said.
Yeah, PRP. It's one of the things, like, let's say you had that neck problem again, and I took a hammer and smashed your hand. You would forget all about the pain in your neck.
That's true. That's
for a second or two.
He's absolutely right.
And you know, Mark, if you killed him, he'd never have pain again.
You'd
Why
be
not go
fixed-
all the way?
You'd be fixed forever.
Totally cure the pain.
So with this Yvonne, I'm curious if her husband lived in this house as a primary residence prior to them getting married.
That wouldn't matter, though, because in the last 5 years, they would have had to live there.
That's true.
For 3 out of the 5 for it to qualify for the
Okay, I thought
exemption.
it was 2 out of 5. But anyway,
It is 2 out of 5.
Okay, then 2 out of 5.
But maybe he has. Maybe they recently got married, and he said, you know what, I'm going to hang on to this as an investment.
But if they have 2 houses, it still wouldn't matter. They can't have 2 primary residences.
But
Is that what you're saying?
No,
You can only have 1.
No, I get that. But
If they have another house, they can't exist as a primary residence.
so even if it was his primary
Yep.
residence, say for 2 or 3 years, and then they got married, and he says, hey, I'm gonna move into your house. That'll be our primary residence. But let's hang on this for an investment, and then they can't find a good renter, and 6 months later they say, you know what, let's just go ahead and sell it. You're saying
Then it would go to the 5-year rule. If they were there for 2 years in the last
Right.
5, then they'd be fine.
which I think could be the case.
But you can't have, like, in other words, Suzanne can't own a house,
She can't own a
and
house.
I own a house.
No, I get
Wink,
that.
wink.
I get that. Yeah.
Now, if you weren't married, you could do that.
Right.
So you could get divorced.
Yeah, all the advantages go.
Let's tell her to get divorced, then there's the benefit. That's true. Do you know that, Tom?
Yeah, but then by the time you pay for the attorney for the divorce.
Hi, Tom Martino here. By the way, make sure insurancegroup.com. theinsurancehelpcenter.com. Now, here's what I want to tell you.
Number, here's why. Up in those fires around Boulder and Marshall, what happened was about 82% of the people ended up being underinsured. They cannot rebuild. They don't have the money to rebuild. Why is that? They never knew. It's because of inflation and everything else. Just because you have total replacement value, that doesn't mean for the whole house. It means for components. But once those components add up to more than the dwelling amount, you're screwed. So make sure you have enough coverage first. Then make sure you're not overpaying. Or you don't have the wrong deductibles. Some deductibles, for example, on roofing, amount to 3% of the value of the home, which in essence means you don't have a roofing coverage. So call Compass for a free analysis and a free insurance checkup, absolutely free. 303-996-9000. 303-996-9000.
Hey, real quick on that. This is driving me crazy. If you call up your insurance company, let's say it's State Farm, because a lot of these issues are with State Farm, and the State Farm guy looks up your address and says, okay, in order for us to cover that house, it's going to be a rebuilding cost of this much, and here's your policy, and sells it to you. A few years goes by, your entire house burns down, and you don't have enough coverage. Don't you think his ass should be on the line for it? His errors and omissions, because he doesn't know what he's doing?
Now, I agree that if you have a captive agent, especially, working for a company selling you a product, they should sell you the right product. The argument is going to be made, should they babysit that product? For example, Mark, when I sell you a car, do I have to now babysit to make sure you have it maintained, or to make sure that you have the recalls done or whatever, or that you're properly insured in that car?
If you're selling me a brand new car that has a manufacturer's warranty, yes.
Okay, what about insurance? It's the same thing. What if you're underinsured in that car? What if you're underinsured in that car?
I think it sucks because of this more than anything. What do they claim these policies are? Full replacement policies. The language is crap. Everything's crap.
I don't think you actually find full replacement policies written. It's called, they talk about the articles as being full replacement value.
They're representing the product they're selling, and I'm not even talking about the insurance company. Well, unless if they work for the insurance company, but the broker of the insurance company is selling you something, and they're making it sound like if your house burns down, you're covered. And these 82% of people, these poor people up there, they can't even rebuild their house, man. Some of them are going to end up in a bankruptcy because they can't pay the mortgage off. Their house, they can't rebuild, they can't move, and they still have a damn mortgage.
You're absolutely right, but here's the thing.
There's got to be lawsuits coming out.
There's going to be lawsuits saying you should have known we were underinsured.
82% of people. How 82% were screwed?
And here's the deal, man. What if they came to you and said you need to have more insurance? How many of would have done it? Because here's what they're thinking. Now, here's what people think when they're underinsured. Some people do it on purpose. And here's the theory behind underinsuring. I know the roof will never come to my dwelling amount. I know a TV won't. I know my jewelry won't. I know that, every component in my house, I could have 3 or 4 of those components go. It's not going to amount to my dwelling amount. The only thing that will exceed my dwelling amount is a total loss. And what the hell? I'm willing to take my chances. Mark, there are people that purposely underinsure because they don't want to pay the high premiums. Now, I'm not saying that happened here, but underinsurance, if your insurance company finds out about it, can do what's called a co-insurance penalty.
I'll give you one more example.
Most of those were 6 years old or more when it comes to the policies. You see, Mark, when they write the policy, they make sure it's the proper value when they write it. But they don't go back when they renew it and make them upgrade it. That's where your argument is. They should babysit it when they renew it. That's what you're saying. Now, when you buy it, they underwrite it.
Well, my God, they babysit the increase every freaking year on everything. Did your homeowners go up last year? Of course. It goes up every year. How do they babysit the actuarials and charge you more but not babysit the value of it?
I don't know. I know that that's going to be a big argument, that you let me get underinsured. By the way, Yvonne, on the 1031 thing, our expert is not answering right now. Well, when we get him, though, we were going to call you back if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And or if anyone else knows of 1031 alternatives, but I don't think there are any. It's like for like, and you got to make the purchase, and if you don't, you pay the tax. But remember now, the taxes are deals right now. If the current administration has its way, capital gains will be ordinary income. That will be devastating. Absolutely devastating. Oh, no, in fact, if they have their way, you don't even have to make the capital gain to be taxed on it. It just has to be on your portfolio. You literally would have to pay tax on the increase, even if you didn't get the increase. I don't even want to get into that because it's so ridiculous you can't even fathom it. Now, Veronica, what's going on with you, Veronica?
Maybe a simple question. I'm leaving the country for 3 weeks, and I'm hiring a pet sitter and a house sitter that are going to stay in my home. I'm curious if there's a contract I should write for that, or if I'm going to end up having to use a 1099 after I pay them.
Okay, you have to use the 1099. Hold on, let me explain the 1099. It's only if you pay them more than it's $600 this year, $600. But okay. The penalty for not issuing a 1099 is $25 or $50. If it was a lot of money, you see, 1099s, yes, technically over $600 you issue a 1099. As far as a dog sitter or house sitter, a contract, I think you can download those. There are plenty of contracts online, LegalZoom and things like that. But you would have something, for example, with the dog sitter. You would have something where you allow them to take it to a vet if anything's going to save the dog's life, as opposed to getting them in trouble. And when it comes to house sitting, it's a more simple contract, but you would have parameters as to who they can call and when they can call them, or they have to call you first. But as I said, I don't know right off the bat, and I can't just say find one right now.
I'm going to give you a piece of advice you have to listen to.
Hold on, please do it right after this, please.
This is Denver's talk station with Michael Brown in the morning and Dan Kaplis in the afternoon.
Can you expense a nanny
What do you mean by
on your taxes?
Well,
is it a true write-off? Yeah or no?
No.
Okay.
No, but there's a child care expense, yes.
That's what that would be a nanny.
Yeah, but people who can afford a nanny usually are too much to deduct the child. Not everyone.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I don't think everyone gets the child
No,
care.
most people. Well, not most people, but yeah.
But you can deduct child care under certain circumstances.
I got it, but in general,
if you go to work, you can't do child care just because you want to go out with the girls to have a latte.
Well, what happens if you're doing something like Holly's Happy Hour?
No, you can't do that either.
Can you do it if you do it every day?
Yeah, you go out for drinks every day.
Happy hour every night. I'm calling my sitter.
At that point, you would call that a medical drop.
So, Mark.
You remember Archie? Did you ever meet Archie?
I met Archie, yes. That boy was wild.
This dude would go on 3-4 day binges. I mean, I never see nothing like it, man. I never seen a man drink and not sleep for 3 or 4 days. He was so bad, it was unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable.
You worked there?
Fuck no. But here's where I was going with this. His company fired him. He worked for a big company, a router company. Not Lucent. What's one of the big ones, man? Huge.
Charter?
No. Fuck, I can't think of the name of it.
I remember too. We talked about that when we did that job.
Let's talk about Colorado Pain Care. I tout these guys because so many people come to me and say, Tom, I'm in pain. What should I do? I say this every day because I mean it. I tell them the same thing I'm telling you, ColoradoPainCare.com. Find out about them. Find out about their locations. And there's one near you. And it's 7 to 7 in the morning to 7 at night. They work with all major insurance, and they will fight your pain from day one. They don't study you and then say, okay, let us look over your imaging and we'll get back to you. If they can do something that day for your pain, they will do it, including a trigger point injection. They do longer range plans. They have spinal cord stimulators. They have nerve blocks. They have whatever you need for the pain. They work with all major insurance. And if you need them to work with a current doctor, they can, or they can just attack your pain with you. 303-GOT-PAIN. Same-day appointments. 303-GOT-PAIN. You know, Frank Duran, the real estate man, is somebody I probably recommend every single day. Every single day. People say, I want to list my house. What should I do? Call Frank. You know, Frank has had meetings sometimes where people say, I think you're listing it too low. He says, trust me, I want to get a bidding war going. And the net result is he gets more than anyone in the neighborhood. He has stats to prove it. There are people who said, nah, I don't want to go there. I want to go with the guy who said he's going to list it way higher. And the guy that listed it way higher, he didn't sell it right away because they had to end up coming down a bit in price. You see, there's strategy to real estate. And Frank Duran is not only a real estate broker with honesty, integrity, he is also a strategist. Frank Duran, thereelestateman.com, 303-920-1622.
So listen to this, man. He gets fired from, God, that's going to drive
Was it Alcatel? Was it Linksys?
No. It starts with a C. They're huge. Cisco. He gets fired from fucking Cisco because he was drinking on the job. Okay, the whole bit. They gave him 2-3 warnings. He continued to come in drunk. Whatever. Fired. His wife is an attorney. She fucking sues Cisco for firing him for having a medical condition. This is like 5 months after he's fired. She fucking wins. They get all the back pay for 5 months, and they get his job back. But then they fired him for a different reason, like the day he showed up. They fired him really for no reason. They said, you know, we hired you back. This has nothing to do with you being a drunk, but we're firing you because we don't need you anymore. So then they did it properly. But can you believe that? He would show up. I would go absolutely insane as an employer if that happened to me. You have a service manager or someone coming in drunk, you fire them, you end up getting sued for firing someone with a medical problem?
Right.
Give me a fucking break.
It's absolutely disgusting, and that's why, you know, what I hate, whenever we have to let somebody go,
the exit meetings suck.
All we can ever say is, we're moving in a different direction.
Yep.
Well, I thought I was doing a good job.
You can't even tell them what they weren't doing.
Even if, you know, especially some of these young guys.
You are so right.
I want to do them justice by saying, look, here's why you're getting fired. It's this, this, and this, and wherever you go, if you continue to do those bad behaviors,
still going to happen.
Get fired. So fix this. Get your head out of your rear end. You can't say anything.
No, you can't say any of that.
What we used to, we just say, my MAs or nurses, we hired her on June 1st, and she worked until August 15th, and that's all we'll say to them.
You mean if someone calls?
Right.
We're talking literally when you're talking to the employee.
Somebody.
Oh, right.
If I were firing you, I can't say why I'm firing you. I can, but you're going to come back and sue me for it.
Right.
So all I can say is we're moving in a different direction.
Right.
And even if they drill, is it because I was late every day? That's not why we're firing you. We're just moving in a different direction. Is it because I came in drunk? That's not why we're firing you. We're just moving.
Is that what you do?
Exactly. You have to.
You have to, because anything you say, they're going to come back and sue you.
So Walmart.
And this is supposed to be a right-to-work state.
Walmart, they do what's called coaching now. So my kids got to coach people all the time, which is warnings, basically. So when you bring them in, you do talk about exactly what the coaching is for. You always have to have a witness, and if it's the opposite sex of you, the witness has to be there, and it always has to be done in one place in the building. It's like you can't do it, like let's say they screwed something up at the cashier station. You can't do it there. It's got to be in a certain room there with the witness, and it's called a coaching, and then everybody signs at the end how it went. And basically then it's a high five, get back to work, and now you know how to do it. But when they terminate, it's completely fucking different, man. Then you're talking multiple people in the fucking room. And you escort them out, they're gone that fucking second. There's no lollygagging.
There's no more 2 weeks notice.
Oh, fuck, not
But
on
I'm
fire.
curious if they use that, even though it's documented the way they do, I wonder if they use that and say, look, we put you on a performance review, it's documented, you signed it, we signed it, we didn't fix it, therefore let you go.
Exactly.
I wonder if they do that or if they, because...
That's why they do the coaching, because they're...
But I guarantee that person can say...
Hi, Tom Martino.
They're going to find something.
Your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. So Veronica wants to know about contracts for dog sitters and house sitters, and you said you had something important to tell
This is really important. So Suzanne and I took the kids when they were little to SeaWorld, and we had a house sitter come over to watch our dogs. and she was going to be there for a week to 2 weeks. I don't remember what it was. We get a call in the middle of the night at the hotel in Florida from a vet. This woman ran over our dog in our driveway with our car, moving ours out in order to pull hers in. It's not even like we were mad at the situation, but what happened and where the contract comes in, by the time I got a call from the vet hospital in the middle of the night, I already owed $7,000.
What?
They already had $7,000 in vet bills that she approved, meaning the person house sitting. So you better document what your pain tolerance is when it comes to vet bills.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's important too in the contract. That, or you make, you can't write for every situation, but you can write for emergencies, and you may want to be contacted first before they incur a bill, and then only if they can't contact you, then they go to a certain amount. Again, these are difficult, and this is something. When are you leaving?
April 28th.
Oh, you have time to do it. That's really smart of you. That is really smart of you. Now, on that deal, Mark, why don't you explain what happened, which was incredible. So, listen to this, Veronica.
Veronica, listen to what I just said. So she runs over my dog in my driveway
with your car,
with my car, runs it off to the vet.
$7,000 in vet bills.
So she doesn't have this kind of money. We like this girl. There's no doubt about it. She's a young lady. So we pay the bill. Dog actually lived a few more years, but ended up eventually dying from that. I mean, her back legs went out. But here's the deal. About a year later, I get a check in the mail from, I believe it was Allstate or State Farm, for $7,000. She told her dad about it, and Tom actually knows her dad.
And the dad submitted a claim to his homeowner's
insurance.
How the hell did that coverage extend to his daughter who was house sitting?
I think I got lucky because she was probably a minor, but honestly, I don't even remember if she was a minor at that time.
Okay. Well, good to know. To get all of that covered, put in some emergency contacts and some criteria for something like that. Another thought I had was like with the B&Bs, this person's coming to me through recommendations and I'm checking referrals. But, I started thinking, what if I can't get them out of my house? But that shouldn't be a problem.
Now, Veronica, you got to be really careful about that too now, that it's an agreement to house sit. And
that's another thing to put in there. Remember the one caller we had says this woman picks up a guy, whatever, at a bar. They go back. He spends, 3 or 4 days there.
He spends the next day, and then the next night, and then the next day, he had something forwarded to him there.
He had his mail forwarded.
Just one piece.
And then she's like, hey, you've been here 4 days. You got to leave.
3 days. And then
he's like, I live here, lady.
He says, no, you got to evict me. Veronica, obviously, as I said, there's a whole host of nightmares that could happen. But this is pretty clear when you're house sitting. There are services that do house and dog sitting already, so they're set up for it, and they do have contracts, and they do have understandings, and they have experience. So that's something you may want to consider.
Try to move in on me like that, and you will not sleep.
You'll wake up outside.
You will not sleep peacefully.
So as a volunteer, if I get hurt, can I sue you guys?
Oh, no way. You don't work for it. You're a volunteer. Volunteers are the easiest because there is no pay.
Hey, Doc, I'll push you down. Let's split the check.
Well, I did break my ankle last year or 2 years ago on company property.
Could sue the property owner.
I was thinking about it. But since I didn't incur any medical bills, it's hard to do.
One in the same statement. Okay, I bet that's the same here as it is anymore.
If you're a valued customer,
so that same guy that sued, his wife sued and he got the job back. So this dude.
I didn't believe it till I read it.
All right, let's talk about Retirement Planning Center of the Rockies. It's so important. What are they? They're a retirement planning center. rpcenter.com. What does that mean? That means if you're getting ready for retirement, they help you get ready. They show you what to do. Now, they don't necessarily have to do everything for you. You may have someone you like to do your estate planning, like Blake Harris. You may have someone to do a reverse loan. You may have someone to do your investing. Whatever it is, they help supervise everything. Now, they can do any of those things you want, of course, and what I really love is how they meet with you and make sure you're meeting your goals. They regularly meet with you, and you can meet with them up front to make sure it's a good fit, and they'll meet with you as many times as it takes for you to feel comfortable. They're a family-owned and operated operation, a father, son, and son-in-law. And as I said, they coordinate everything you do to make sure you have a smart and comfortable retirement. Now, no matter how late it's getting in life, I'm going to see them. You can too. 970-663-3211. They'll be totally transparent on how they make fees and how it benefits you and how they make you money and how they secure your retirement. 970-663-3211. rpcenter.com. Now let's talk about something that I'm passionate about. Public adjusters. Public Insurance Adjusters of Colorado are there for you. It's a team of public adjusters who work for you against your insurance company for any insurance claim. Now, you may say, wait a minute, why do I have to fight my insurance company? Because they will never treat you fairly in a claim. I'm just going to say it. I know it because I've been doing this 40 years fighting for consumers. You need help. They will go over every insurance claim you have, big or small, even if something's been closed already. Fire, hail, wind, broken pipes, whatever it is. If you have an insurance claim, they'll take a look at it, and they will let you know what they can do for you, honestly. And if they say they take your case, they will get you more money you can ever get on your own for a small contingency. 720-715-0000. 720-715-0000. COClaims.com. Now let's talk about the carpet cleaner I have come to my house, and it's ZeroResDenver.com. You know what I like about ZeroRes? Nothing. What I mean is, nothing is in their solution but empowered water. Think about that. It's a great patented system of patented water. It's super soft water that gets through and sterilizes everything and kills pathogens. Listen, you have to call them and find out about it. 3-room areas, just $99. No residual, so it dries faster. They stay clean longer. ZeroResDenver.com, 303-471-5150, 471-5150.
With a new year comes new ways to save big. Belco Credit Union is offering 1% APY on a 24.
Someone knocked me out while I was sleeping and put a new hip in.
What are you talking about, Mark?
Look at line 3.
Oh, good.
So he,
yes,
one day his kids, he had little kids, man.
Remember Monday we had a
Like,
guy call, it's
second,
something to do
third
with
grade.
JFR cars.
They come
gap
knocking at my
insurance,
door like
or
at 8 a.m. I'm getting ready to
we had
leave to get up to my
bottom floor.
computer
What was that
store.
all about?
And they're
No,
like,
it
my
wasn't
dad
that
won't
insurance.
wake up. So I go over there. He came off a 3-dayer. His
Bought the
wife
car
already
from
left for
JFR
work.
cars.
I couldn't even wake him
Remember?
up. I mean, he wasn't dead or anything.
And-
He was so
Yes.
so
Bought the
drunk and
car,
so tired I couldn't
and
wake him up. So I
the
got his
second-
kids ready, made sure they got on the bus.
Tom, it was a car,
So-
he bought the car from Rod
Yeah.
A
Road
couple
the
weeks
other
go
day.
by,
We had Rod.
and he's over at my house. She's out of town for Thanksgiving with her parents.
I think there was some.
This is a
And
follow-up.
his wife was somewhere else, so it's Thanksgiving.
His name was Kenny.
So I have him over, and I'm kind of giving him shit over a couple weeks ago. I'm like, dude, what's
It was-
up with
it
that?
was
But we
Monday
both
that
had
I
a
was
piece
here.
of
Here it
shit,
is.
too.
Root insurance, car was
So-
stolen. Now Root says,
Now Root says he
Let
never
me
got
put
the
Right,
my
you get
fucking
something
male
to-
Okay.
Doberman, 100-pound
I sent you the
Doberman.
attachment.
Shock
He's
collar
on line
on
1, okay?
So I put the shock collar on him,
What
and
did
I'm
you,
going, okay,
They look like
so
insurance
are
cards.
you ever going to be passed out drunk and not get your
Well,
kids
if
on
I
the
could
bus?
go into it, I was hoping you could
So,
see it better than
I'm
me.
constantly
I just couldn't see
in,
it.
Right, right.
he's getting to the point where he's getting a little irritated because I'm shocking the living shit out of him.
Thank
So
you,
I
Ken.
had him
Right.
trained perfectly, just like my
Wasn't
dog.
that it?
If he tried to go for
Yeah,
the
well,
collar,
here's the deal. I
fucking
missed the whole
zapped.
call because I'm on the phone.
I wouldn't let him
No,
take it
he
off.
didn't.
So
His
I
car was
literally
stolen,
fucking
and
charged
he
the
didn't know
shit
whether
out
or
of him
not
for about
he
an
had
hour,
comprehensive
and it
insurance
never happened
that
again.
covered
Not
that.
one other time did those kids
We
come
think
knocking
you
on
have
my fucking door, though.
he just had liability.
Oh my goodness.
Now, could anybody talk you into putting a shock collar on?
Not a chance. So is he still drunk? Or do you
They fell off. We moved to Castle Rock in 01. Is the last time I saw him. And I know they got divorced, and I have no idea what happened to him.
He was a special dude.
I forgot you knew him.
Yeah.
God, he was crazy.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter.
303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Okay. Let's talk to Fujit, I believe his name is.
Fujit?
Fujit?
Yes.
What is going on, Fujit?
Hey, man, I'm a disabled vet, a Vietnam vet, and I went to the hospital with a nosebleed, and when I wake up a couple of days later, I done had hip surgery.
No, hold on, Fujit. You're not kidding me. This is not April Fool's, right? You're telling me.
Straight up. This is straight up.
Oh my God.
I lost 7 ounces of blood. They transferred me from one hospital to another hospital because they couldn't accommodate me at the time. And this is at night. So in the meantime, a couple of days later, I wake up. I got hip
Fujit, you went to the emergency room, is that right?
Yes.
And what did you go for? What did you go for?
I went for a nosebleed.
Now, what was it? By the way, why would you? I'm just curious why you went to the hospital for a nosebleed.
Because the nosebleed didn't stop.
Okay. Now, when you went there, you woke up how many days later?
I went to the VA first. They couldn't stop the nosebleed, so they transferred me to another hospital. And this other hospital, I guess they figure out how to stop
What hospital?
Yeah, what hospital?
The other hospital is on 18th Street, downtown.
St. Joe's?
I forget what the name of it is.
St. Joseph's?
St. Joe's?
St. Joseph's.
And hold on, I want to ask some obvious questions, okay?
Go ahead.
When you woke up and they told you had hip surgery, did they?
Yes.
Did you start asking questions, and did they explain to you that it was a mistake, or did they say, well, yeah, you came with a nosebleed, but you really did need a hip? I'm just curious. What did they say anything?
They didn't. They kept quiet. It's like, you fell at home. I said, I ain't fell at home because I walked to emergency. I walked into emergency.
What did cause a nosebleed, out of curiosity?
I was taking warfarin. So they blame it on the warfarin, something I've been taking for 15 years.
All right, listen. Are they claiming still that you broke your hip?
Yes.
Did you hold on. Do they have your do they have your consent anywhere?
No, sir. I was a ball player, man. I ain't broke nothing.
How old are you?
I'm 70 years old now. I mean, I'm very athletic. I put it like that. I ain't holding nothing back.
Wouldn't they have a before X-ray, Doc, or something of his hip? I mean, they're not just going to open him up.
Doc, this is crazy.
This is very simple. All he has to do is ask for a copy of his medical records.
All of them.
All of your medical records.
Okay.
From
okay, Fujit, on your medical records, did you get them?
I got 3 months back.
Now, hold on, Fujit. Did you get the medical records from St. Joe's?
I got all the medical records from the VA.
Okay, but from St. Joseph's, where they did your hip, did you get records from there?
I didn't get them from there because I didn't know who did the hip surgery.
Well, that's
the VA is taking over.
Fujit.
Hold it. Just wait, Doc. Keep going, Fujit. What did you say?
I say the VA is taking charge. They telling me I broke it at home, and I say that's impossible. I walked into surgery.
Are they saying, Fujit, are they saying when you arrived at VA you had a broken hip?
I guess that's what they're saying.
Is that what your records show from VA?
I haven't went through all the records, but I have them from 3 months back, just in case.
Okay. Now, Fujit, I'm going to ask these questions only because I have to. I have to ask them. Were you drinking that night?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you drink?
I don't drink no more. Not in the last year. In fact, in the last 15 years, I haven't drunk.
Okay. All right. So you go to the hospital for a nosebleed, and they transfer you, and they replaced your hip. There's a whole bunch of stuff missing from there, so they have to get your consent, even if you needed a hip. It's not like it's emergency surgery. When would a hip be?
Nobody told me. Nobody told me.
How is it now? Can you walk, or what's going on with it now?
I walk barely. I mean, I get around, but I got the scar. You know, Tom. I'm not pulling your legs, nothing. I got the scar, and I'm wondering how in the world. I won't let nobody get that close to me. Put it like that.
Oh, Fujette, man, this is crazy. No, this is crazy. And you, hold on. I'm serious, man. We're going to consult a couple people here for you. Hold on, okay? We really will. Now, hold on, Fujette. Did anyone actually meet with you from St. Joe's? You know, we're going on a break. He has 10 seconds.
At St. Joe's.
No, this is crazy. He has 10 seconds, so we're going to come back and finish this story. It's an incredible story. Plus, we'll take your other calls coming up. Can you imagine going to the hospital for a nosebleed and waking up with a new hip that you didn't need? Oh, my God.
Running a business.
All he needs to do.
You pronounce his name. Fuck it.
All he needs to do is get us a copy of his records from St. Joe's. It's that
When I
simple.
saw it over here, I'm like,
Doc, you're going to stick up for fucking
There is,
doctors.
there is a, I think
I'm
it's
just
China.
I'm just saying, get a copy of the medical records.
How does he pronounce his
There's
name?
no way that's what
Fujette?
happened.
Oh, it is Fujette?
Yeah. Would you go to the email? I think this guy only has limited liability, Tom. I don't.
who are you talking about?
Right here.
Kenny, the guy from line 1.
Did you look at it?
Yeah, but what's the question?
He was the one who called. Go to the other
His
page.
car was, Mark, his car was stolen.
He thought he had full
And he thought
coverage,
he had theft insurance on it.
and that's his limits right there.
Decline. Decline. Coverage premium. Bodily injury liability.
Is that just
I'd have to
limited liability?
say his name.
Yeah, that's all. He doesn't
I
have
think
any.
Fujette has screwed.
All he's got is state minimum
Okay,
liability.
well, okay, go easy with this guy. I do think he has
A fucking problem?
no, I don't know if it's a disability.
Okay, I got you. No, that's all he's got is, I wonder what he's talking about.
Oh, she dropped it.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you,
that's it.
thank
Yeah,
you.
you got it.
Okay.
What happened?
Adeline, she says, I'm missing my badge. Can you get me a new one? So I emailed Mike about a new one, and they found hers. Anyway, I don't know if he's maybe got if he's got a little bit of a disability.
He's got nothing.
Or
He's
a
got
brain injury.
his
but
coverage
just,
blows.
or just go easy on him when
Yeah,
we're
I got
talking
you.
to him.
No, he was the one saying, I have full coverage, but I decline theft, which none of us have ever heard of. But he's got state minimum. His insurance is $900 a year. I would kill for $900 a year.
So, Tom, will you tell
How old are your
that?
kids? They're 20s, 30s.
My daughters are 30 and 27. My son's 24.
Okay. So you were, I mean, it wasn't long ago, you remember the insurance when they were 17, 18, and you couldn't believe it.
Well, especially for our sons, more than our daughter.
Well, my son got into an accident the day he got his license.
Same with Eric. I couldn't
The
believe
day?
it. The day.
The day. I couldn't believe it either. Rear-ended his buddy coming home.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with Eric. We left him his car in the parking lot. On the way home, he got into a little thing with one of the other students. So his student's mom called up and said, blah, 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 we're suing him. I said, look.
How much?
Well, no, I said it was, they both were at fault. I said, you better talk to somebody because it's going to be a lot cheaper for you to get your car fixed and we'll get our car fixed than it would be to report an accident on a kid.
Mine would have been, he did like $4,000 worth of damage. There was no way I wasn't turning it in. Plus his car was fucked up.
Okay, this is a minor thing.
So-
$1,000 bucks.
So-
I said, I'm not having his insurance.
Within
claim.
3 months, we had 3 accidents under miles. All of them like reported at 3. They're all gone now. That was over 4 years ago. 3 months. We took his car away.
Mark. Yeah. There is nothing here So all he has is...
It's all liability. Everything there is liability. Look, liability, liability, liability. No, this is the Charmin.
Okay, $25.50.
Did you see that news about Bruce Willis? I didn't
Yeah.
never even heard of aphasia or something.
So
I
what
never even
happened to
heard
him?
of that.
What happened to him?
He has aphasia, so he's bowing out of the. Is that how you say it? Aphasia?
What is it?
Difficulty speaking.
He's
The actor.
Yeah, he's bowing out of acting because
What's
he
it
has
cause,
aphasia.
Doc?
It's probably some kind of brain injury.
Neurological?
Yeah, degenerative neurologic condition.
That's,
Oh, yeah, you're jumping out of helicopters and stuff.
Yeah.
You get something.
He probably has CTE.
probably does,
Well,
actually.
why did he think he had anything else?
Who are we talking about?
Bodily,
Willis or Kenny?
there's not even casualty.
No, he declined
Tom,
anything.
I think he might be a little. I don't know for sure.
No, he did. He even said
Yeah, so 3
Okay,
accidents.
so I don't know if
He said he did. He said he had.
Someone's young lady
had yeah.
is one away from matching my son.
Hmm?
Yeah.
2 so far.
That's Addie.
No, Addie's records. She had 1. Okay, she had a
She
brand
was
new.
T-boned,
She had a
right?
brand new fucking BMW. No, that was. I'm talking her fault. She had a brand new fucking BMW. There's about 12 grand worth of damage.
Wow.
That was her only accident. That was like 3 years ago. But someone else's daughter has gone through 2 with
We're
one
not
more.
mentioning names. But
No,
they-
no names.
But they rhyme with Tom.
2 minor offender.
Actually, I take that back. Addie, we did pay cash for 1. She barely hit someone in a drive-through.
Now, impact traffic. This report is sponsored
And that one was cash. The BMW, I couldn't fucking believe it. The BMW was less than a month old. And it was a kid. And the kid, I think, had the hots for Addie. Okay? So he's like, hey, we'll talk to I'll talk to my parents, but if your parents, just want to pay it out of pocket or something, I'm thinking, okay. So Addie's describing it as like, a little scratch. Fuck, man, it was 12 grand in damage. It's like, I don't even know how you could look at that and describe it that way.
Who's Dave, Jerry?
Hey, Mark, look at line 4 and tell me what that means. Selling close to new couches.
She has new couches.
Yeah, she wants to sell them that she's saying they're like
Close to
they're in great shape.
Selling close to new couches.
You know how I get rid of shit now? I go on to Craigslist and I do free.
Just do it for free.
They'll come and pick it up, and it's unbelievable how quick.
In the driveway. And
Even if it was a couch or something, I'd have them in and move it. I ain't moving it. I mean, really. We had an old trampoline. I put it up. They came out. 2 dudes came out, took the whole thing apart. It took them maybe an hour, boxed it up, and left. I mean, I couldn't ask for more.
I do that with old stuff too when I move.
Yeah, people will come get it.
Yeah,
Man. I mean, if
exactly.
it's got value, they'll come get it.
We call Goodwill and disabled veterans.
Do they come pick shit up?
No, they come. I don't know about Goodwill. I know DAV does.
We drop shit off.
No, we
Goodwill
take it
all
to
the time.
Goodwill and we call disabled veterans.
Right. Yeah.
But
DAV
they come and get stuff. Oh man, they come and get it.
We give a lot of clothes.
Bad news. You need advice so you don't have to lose. We'll come running just as fast as we can. Troubleshooter's gonna help a common man.
This is the Troubleshooter Show. Now, Tom Martino.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. This hour brought to you by GenesisSolarCO.com. If you're looking for solar, Genesis does it the right way. They have a 25-year guarantee on both components of the system and a 25-year performance guarantee. So they estimate what your solar system will save you by how much it will generate. If it doesn't generate what they predicted for that 1 year, they will write you a check. GenesisSolarCO.com. Now, Fugit tells a story that sounds like a TV show. He went to VA hospital with a nosebleed. They transferred him to St. Joseph's. He woke up with a new hip. He starts complaining, And they say, you came in and your hip was broken. He said, I walked in. I was in no pain, never fell. I'm athletic. I don't drink. Now, he said he got his VA medical records, but he doesn't have the medical records from St. Joe's because he doesn't know what to do. So I'm going to bring up Fujit again. Did I tell that story pretty accurately, Fujit?
Yes, you did.
Fujit, were you conscious when they transferred you?
Good question.
Yes, I rode in the ambulance.
Okay, so you were wide awake.
Now.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Now, when you were riding in the ambulance, did you have any pain at all?
Only thing was paining was my head, and they tried to stop the bleeding at the VA hospital and said, well, we're going to transfer you because we can't accommodate you, whatever's wrong with you. In other words, it was a typical nosebleed, but they transferred me anyway because they couldn't stop it all the way. I'm a Vietnam vet, man. Now I'm used to combat, and I can take pain, but I ain't no He-Man. I'm not going to be walking to the VA with a broken hip.
Okay, I get you. I want to talk, listen, I want to talk to John Fuller, myaccidentlawyer.co, which is a great name for him because he does a lot of accidents and traffic accidents. But John, I still want you to weigh in on this. This is a personal injury. I don't know what you would call it, malpractice or whatever. The story he tells sounds impossible to me. What steps should he take?
Well, let me just ask a couple of questions. How old are you, sir?
70, by the way.
I'm 70.
Have you ever had problems with your hip before, ever?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, I mean, listen, this has got to start with getting every single medical record that was created as a result of this visit to the VA, the transfer to St. Joe's, and then particularly the documents that were created at St. Joe's, including any films that they took of you. I mean, it's very, very simple to say, oh, your hip was broken, but it's a whole different issue to prove that here's the x-ray showing it was broken and how they arrived at this emergency decision to repair your hips. I mean, we have a consent issue.
Let me cut in for a minute. I've been going to the hospital emergency pretty much of 2020, 21. In and out of the hospital. It's been a year. I'm on oxygen.
Okay.
You know, all that. They're going to tell me about a hip problem. It should have been between there and to the point what the problem they say I have.
I understand.
Do you live, Fujit, do you live alone?
Yes, I do.
Are you under the care of any psychologist or psychiatrist or any mental health issues?
I've been through all that. I've been through every PTSD unit they got. I've been through drug and alcohol. I've been through all that.
Listen, I understand where you're going, Tom. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. This is really simple. Either the hip was broken or it wasn't. We have a consent issue.
But even if it was, John, even if it was, wouldn't they need his consent to replace it?
Yeah, for sure, unless it was life-threatening or something, but that's easy to prove. I mean, let's take this guy out of the picture completely and say, prove it up, St. Joe's. What led you to this decision to do it? Either he got transferred in as a person with a hip issue or he didn't, but they got to have the records. I mean, there's no way they can straight-face defend the surgery for somebody saying I did not have a broken hip without films and proof that he indeed did show up with a broken hip, and it was of such an emergency nature that they had to do it without getting this guy's consent. I mean, you just can't do that. I know you've got Doc sitting right next to you. He knows the same thing. You can't go in to deliver a baby and end up amputating an arm. I mean, short of it being a life-saving procedure, you have to get consent to perform these type of procedures. So put the onus on St. Joe's, prove it up.
Absolutely. I think there's no way that this could be considered an emergency, John. The only time I can even conceive of it would be if somebody came in from a severe automobile crash and had multiple pelvic fractures and was unconscious. That I can't think of any other scenario where a hip replacement would be done on an emergency basis. You agree with that?
Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. There's almost no circumstance where they couldn't wake the patient up and say, "Hey, this is going on. Do we have your permission to do this procedure?" Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so the records are gonna prove this up. They're either going to answer the question of how it happened, or they're going to prove up the fact that they operated on you thinking you were somebody else, or who knows what. But there's going to have to be some splaining going on here.
Right.
And I would like to see those records. Absolutely.
I got the records in my possession. I have the records.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have the records from St. Joseph's.
No, I don't. You're right.
Okay.
I got the records from the VA.
Hey, well, the records, do you have the records from the VA emergency room that you first went to with the bloody nose?
Yes.
Okay, good. But you also need, now where does he go with these records? John, you know, I hate to put you on the spot. I mean, you have a law firm. Is this something you will look at, or should we pass it on?
Hey, I'll be happy to look at the guy's records if he gets the St. Joe records. I mean, any attorney can look at it and come to an opinion as to whether or not there's a case here.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'll take the case, but I would gladly.
Okay, good. So here's what we're going to do. Fujet, here's what we're going to do. You need to call John with any questions, and then what he can do is instruct you on how to get your records, but you just basically go to St. Joe's and ask for your records.
I have one question nobody asked. When did this happen?
Yeah, you go. When did it happen?
Was it 10 years ago?
I've been out of.
When was it?
Just wait. He's trying to answer.
Okay.
Go ahead, Fujet.
I've been out of the hospital. I've been out of what you call when you go through surgery.
Rehab.
You go someplace.
Rehab.
Yeah. Rehab. Yes, I've been out of rehab possibly 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay. All right.
So he's clear. I mean. He's clear. No matter what, he's going to be clear. With St. Joe's involved, that's who we're talking about here. Sir, you need to walk right in that hospital, take your ID with you, request your medical records in person. They're going to have to give them to you, and they won't charge you for those records, okay? I won't do it for you. I can't do it for you. They'll charge me several $100s to pull them on your behalf.
That's all right. I understand.
As the attorney, okay?
Let me ask you a question. A question. Now, because I was transferred in an ambulance, is that the hospital that's downtown on 18th or something like that?
Somewhere around there, yes. St. Joe's is off of 18th.
He doesn't know what.
Oh, you don't know. You don't know what hospital you went to. Is that what you're thinking?
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, ask VA. Hold on. Ask VA where they transferred you.
Thank you. I got those records. Yes, I can ask them that.
Well, the transport record should show where they took you, sir. And worst case scenario, call up St. Joe's and say, "Hey, do you have a record of me being there on this date?" I mean, they'll tell you.
Look here, I'm as sure as all the time I did in Vietnam. This ain't no hoax. This is for real.
Sir, I take you at your word, but these are the steps that we have to go through to see where you stand on it. So,
just tell me what to do.
All right. The first thing he said, you get your records. Fujet, can you write down a couple numbers?
All right, just a minute.
Suze, give him John Fuller's number. Give him our number again. John Fuller, thank you very much. 303-597-4500. That's John's number. We got more coming up.
If I take my car in for an oil change and they paint the car, I'm good with that.
I don't buy any.
I had a guy in his 80s, went out for a carton of milk. He's parked in the dealership near the 7-Eleven and came back with a new car, and his wife said, "Where's the milk?" He forgot it. But he had a new car, and she called me, and she was fit to be tied. This guy was senile. Oh my God.
He accidentally meandered up onto the parking for the car lot.
Because it's 7-Eleven, so he went to park there. The guys came up and talked to him. He bought a car, never got the milk. I think she was more pissed about not getting the milk or whatever he went for. I said it was milk, but.
Well, you heard the joke about the blonde, and went up to this house, said, I'll paint your porch for $100. So the guy says, okay. His wife says to him,
okay, got it. Wait.
Podcasts. Let's talk about the Art of Granite. If you're looking for countertops, theartofgranite.com is the place to go. Mitch Fleury will even give you a price on the phone. He does all countertops, natural stone or man-made material. He tears out and hauls away free. Does the kitchen? He does the bathroom vanity when you do the kitchen, and wholesale on all materials. Listen to this. He'll give you a price on the phone. That is really a big deal because he's proud of his value. 303-386-5919. He also sells cabinets, 303-386-5919. Get your price. And speaking of home improvements, what about Genesis Total Exteriors? Roof, gutter, siding, windows, doors, fencing, decks, outbuildings. If it's on your house, he'll take care of it. That is GenesisTotalExteriors.com. And in these days of corrupt home improvement contractors, you need someone you can trust, and we trust Genesis. 303-679-8509. We talk a lot about finance on the show when it comes to lending, when it comes to retirement, when it comes to planning. One of the loans we talk about, reverse loans. Now, reverse loans are fine if done correctly, and if you know how to use them. You can get a lump sum, a monthly payment, or a line of credit. The point is, what you really need to do is you need to make sure that you work with good people. Approval Reverse is someone we recommend. Joan Sullivan and her team, ApprovalReverse.com, 303-771-3528.
So many people have told me.
My next button's working, right?
so she goes to paint the porch. The wife says to him, did she realize the porch goes all the way around the house and she's going to do it for $100? So about a half an hour later, she comes back and said, you know, it was so easy, I was able to do it twice. And I said, okay, here's $100. Says, by the way, halfway through, I realized it was a Mercedes, not a Porsche.
Well, I missed it, damn it. Say it again.
That is great.
Say it again.
Okay, so this blonde goes up to his house, says, I'm going to paint your porch for $100. The guy says, well, you know, that sounds like a good deal. So he says, go ahead and do it. So the wife whispers in his ear, does she realize that porch goes all the way around the house? That's, well, she's a blonde. What does she know? Comes back a half an hour later and says, you know, it was pretty easy. It was so easy I painted it twice. The guy said, that's great. Here's $100. But I got to tell you, halfway through, I realized it was a Maserati, not a Porsche.
Don't wait to replace that old system. Not when you get a new.
By the way, Bob, great commercial. Courtney emailed me bullet points and stuff for April, and for some reason I can't find it. And I asked her, I emailed her back to resend it, but I didn't get a response from her. I don't know if she's in today or what, but because I'll do those commercials later tonight.
Okay.
I just feel bad that she sent it to me last Friday. Jack said, and I can't find it anywhere in my email.
So these are the
just my April copy points. All the April spots you want to run. And I'd like to have it done by Friday. I feel bad. By the way, she did it on Friday. It was my fault. I believe her. I just can't find them. Every once in a while that happens to me. It pisses me off. I misplace emails.
It happens.
I think I'm so hurried to clean out stuff. I think I delete shit. But I went to my trash. My trash hasn't been deleted long before last Friday, and I can't find it. Oh, no. I guess it was. Wait, hold on. New spot. Oh, that's K&H. Never mind. I don't have one more. Nope. I guess I had emptied my trash.
I do the same thing. So I get so many.
I know.
emails.
And then you say, oh, crap, where did it go? And I'm looking everywhere. I remember seeing it, and I can't find it. That pisses me off. So, Mark, I'm looking at other G's because I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to compare other G's to the plaid.
Oh, they called me on that plaid. They called us yesterday.
On my,
A white on, or a white with white. They said it's available right now.
That's
if I
mine.
can take it.
That's mine, yeah. So I ordered a Tesla. Plaid. Have you heard of it? It's the 3-motor, 1,000 horsepower.
Wow. Holy cow.
And
1,000 horsepower?
1,000 something.
1,050 horsepower. So I chickened out on the first delivery because they had one early, but it had a white interior. I wanted cream, so I have white and cream. So that I chickened out. I didn't want white, so now I'm waiting for the cream, but I'm not sure I still want that either.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Now we're going to go, that's a crazy story, isn't it, about a hip? Now, Kenny.
Yeah.
What am I listening to, Kenny?
Vinyl area. That's vinyl pads so they can do the scoop thing.
That's Ron.
Okay. Do me a favor, Kenny. Can you turn that down?
Yeah.
All right, turn me down, too, so we can talk. Yes, I can hear you. All right, Kenny. Here's the bottom line. We did a lot of research into this. You bought your car at JFR Cars, and, of course, they had it financed through another place. You had it financed, through your own place. Or, no. They arranged financing. I'm sorry. But then you got your own insurance. And the insurance, here's the problem. When you first bought that car, was it on your mother's Allstate policy?
No, we had our own insurance.
Right.
But the insurance that we had, they didn't take the payment out of it, so we was confused on
so the first insurance you had lapsed.
Yeah.
And you had to go out and buy new insurance. Who told you you needed to go out and buy new insurance?
Basically, without having insurance, I couldn't drive around, so that's what made me get.
But you did it on your own. You weren't contacted by anyone, right? You did it on your own?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, here's the problem. When you went online and bought Root Insurance, we looked at your paperwork, and you did not buy comprehensive insurance, so you were not covered for theft.
Oh, wow.
Kenny, I wish it wasn't so, man. I really wish it wasn't so. I promise you.
That's crazy.
Now, here's going to be a big...
It's really weird.
I know you said it said full coverage, but nowhere does it say full coverage on your insurance paperwork.
Wow.
Now, here's what's going to happen. This is going to get complicated, Kenny, but I got to be straight with you. They're going to come after you. The finance company will come after you for payments. You obviously can't pay on a car you don't have.
Yeah.
And how old are you right now?
26.
And where do you live? Do you live with a husband or wife, or do you live with a family or with a...
I basically, it's me and my family right now. I have a baby on the way, so, we really wasn't expecting this to happen, but, I can't really say anything different because when we applied for the insurance, it told us on the website, it said full coverage, and that's what we thought, but now it's saying that we don't, so I'm a little bit lost myself on that part.
But you didn't pay for full coverage. We looked at what you paid, and what you paid is in line with what you got. Now, Kenny, I'm more concerned. Kenny, I'm more concerned about you and what happens when they try to come to you for payment of this car. They're still going to want to be paid on this loan.
Oh, yeah, and me and my girl was talking about it, and, we was just hoping that, if there's a way to get something back for this so it doesn't put us in hard debt. But
well, hold on, Kenny. Listen. I'm going to tell you something people may not agree with, okay? But at this point in your life, with a baby on the way, I would not pay for that car anymore if you don't have it.
Okay. And
that's what I would do. I'm just telling you, you got to go into survival mode, Kenny. You and your wife, and you have a baby on the way, or your girlfriend, and you have a baby on the way. You can't afford to pay for that car, and I mean, you can. I mean, you may have to talk to a bankruptcy attorney about getting rid of that debt. There's nothing they can take from you, Kenny. I mean, at this point in your life, it's something you do. Now, where are you living, in an apartment?
Yeah, I'm living in an apartment right now.
What do you do for work, Kenny?
I'm a delivery driver for Rent-A-Center and Pizza Hut.
Okay. So the only thing I can tell you at this point is contact us whenever you hear from your lender.
Okay.
Because, Kenny, you're going to have to get a car somewhere. I mean, were you using this car for work?
Yes, most definitely. For personal reasons, for taking the kids to daycare, to me going to work.
What are you using now? Kenny, what are you doing? What are you using now that it's gone?
Right now, I'm paying for Lyft. It's pretty expensive, I'm not going to lie, but that's what's been kind of helping us get around.
Yeah, but let me ask you something, Kenny. Are you still, but are you working, or did you use your car at work, or did you just use it to get to work?
No, I use it to get to work, and my other job, I use it sometimes if they need, basically saying if another store needs this, we will go drop it off to them and come back. That's mainly how that operates.
Okay.
Hello?
Did the police, Kenny, did they have any hope of finding it, or what?
What really irritated me about the police is that, well, when the guy told us, he said, "Oh, Kia is the #1 car to easily being broken into," and I was like, "Did you find the guy?" He was like, "Even if we did find the guy, we're just gonna write the guy a ticket." So what I'm saying is like, so you're not gonna do anything, Jurassic wise into doing more charges for him. You're just gonna give him a ticket. Yeah, that's all we can do. So I was more irritated, like, shit, dude, like, my car got stolen.
Hold on a sec. Hold on. I got it. Okay, so, Kenny, hold on. You slipped and said a word we can't have on the air, but I don't know what to do to help him, Sue. This guy, just tell him to call us back if his lender contacts him. Oh, man. I just wish we could help him. We have a comment here from Robert. Mark, Robert, hang on one second. We're gonna have to work on getting cars, and I'll tell you why. A vast majority of the people that call us get into trouble for not having a car. And this is a kid that's working, and he could pay for the insurance and all that. Eventually, we have to figure out a way to source donation cars for people. I'm serious. I think after all these years of doing this, it's probably one of the areas. I mean, I know we have that charity account for emergencies, dire emergencies, but we got to figure out a way maybe to get donation cars, just a few, that we can. We can't obviously give a car to someone that can't afford it. I mean, you can't give a car to someone who can't insure it and can't drive it. But there will be circumstances, I think, where someone needs a car for work or needs a car to get around, and we need to help them. I don't know. I mean, anyway, Robert, what is your comment on this?
Well, first of all, I had my own experience I'd like to discuss with you related to car insurance.
Okay. What is it?
Relevant to what he had to say about Kenny.
Okay. What is your situation with insurance?
Well, my insurance goes back to, let me give you some background. When I turned 21 years old, 50 years ago, I'm 71 now, I was selling new and used cars for Tino Jackson Chevrolet here in Provo. And I bought a 70 Chev, brand new.
What, Kenny, what is that? Excuse me, not Kenny, Robert, what does that have to do with, does it have anything to do with today, right now?
Yes, because I traded that 70 Chev in on my birthday when I turned 70. and I turned it into Spradley Chev.
Wait, you
It
still
only
had that car?
69,000
Wait.
miles.
You kept a car 50 years? You're not saying that.
Yes, at 69,000 miles, I
Wait,
traded it in.
hold on. Are you telling me that you kept the same car for 50 years?
Truck. It was a 70 Chev truck, 3/4 ton. I traded it in for $4,000 trade-in value for a 2017 Chev Colorado.
Okay.
And Spradley Chevrolet. I didn't have it covered on insurance, and he said that he was going to cover my insurance until the end of the month when I got my veterans check, and then I was going to switch
Okay, so
over to
what
farmers.
happened?
Well, he said that he was going to cover me full coverage until the 1st of February when I got my veterans check.
Okay.
So within 2 weeks, I was in a blizzard on Chester and East 4th Street at the Sweeney Feed Mill.
Yeah.
In a blizzard, a woman, she ran the red light, and she backed up into my truck, and I was sitting there with my foot on the brake.
Are you talking about she backed in? Hold on, Robert. She backed into your 2017 truck?
She backed into the 2017 truck, and I only had it 2 weeks. I got the ticket for careless driving and no insurance because Spradley did not give me the paperwork. I got 8 points against my driver's license, and the judge went along with the officer and put 8 points against my driver's license, and I had a military driver's license.
So what happens now? Do you still have your 2017?
No, they repossessed my truck.
So you don't have any transportation now?
I haven't had transportation, and I missed my appointment to talk to you yesterday because I missed the bus, and so I just barely had a chance to talk to you.
Now wait, what
afternoon.
about, okay, what does the bus have to do with talking to us? You don't have a cell phone?
My cell phone, I can't keep a charge on the battery because the damn cell phone is made in China.
So
I'm talking to you on my landline right now.
I see.
And I'm running for U.S. Congress, and that's another issue.
Do you live? Hold on. Do you live in an apartment or a house?
I've lived in my house 17.5 years.
Oh, hold on.
And they've been trying to take my house away. They took away my truck, and they tried to repossess my house or foreclose on my house, and that's another issue.
Wait. Why are they trying to foreclose on your house?
Because Catholic Charities, I fought Catholic Charities for 15 months trying to get my check from Social Security. Social Security wouldn't let me have my check for 6 months.
Why?
Because Catholic Charities was my payee for 15 months.
Why are they your payee?
Because I had to have bankruptcy because I tried to sell my house and would get a reverse mortgage.
My God.
He called the other day, if I remember.
No, Robert has so many problems.
He's a real big Trump fan, if I remember.
Robert, you need some help.
I'm running for Congress because of all my problems, and the stupid chieftain is run out of Gannett, out of Dallas, and they won't write one word about me running for Congress.
I wonder why. I wonder why.
I want to talk to you at least an hour, and you give me 5 minutes.
Well, I can't put you on for an hour, Robert. Listen,
I want to talk to you personally,
Robert,
off the air.
I believe that you have a cascade of problems that are happening. I do believe you. And I believe...
A cascade of problems because I lost my truck because of Spradley. They gave me a $4,000 trade-in, and they didn't give me cash, and then I couldn't pay my bills.
Will they give your trade back? When was this truck repossessed?
It was repossessed 6 months after I traded it in.
How long ago?
I traded it in on my 70th birthday. That was in January of 2020.
Oh.
Everything has been coming down on me ever since Veterans Day of 2020.
Do you have any... Hold on, Robert. Do you have any family?
My father operated the power plant downtown.
I'm talking about right now.
Years.
Right now, do you have any siblings or any family?
They're all out of town. They left Pueblo because of the way Pueblo has treated the James family.
What income do you have, Robert? What income, Robert? What income, Robert? Hold on, please. Hold on.
I like him.
Hey, Tom, I have a...
Would you mind driving down to Pueblo and checking out this case for us?
Ratings are going up. I like Robert.
I have a question about the stolen car.
I do too. He's crazy.
One, do they have a victims fund that he can apply to? And secondly, when my car was stolen,
Victims funds don't cover.
okay, when my car was stolen, I got a letter from the DA that I could ask for restitution.
That's going after the people that stole it.
Right, no, did we find out if they caught the guy who stole it?
They didn't catch anyone.
Okay, well, tell him that if they catch the guy, he can ask for restitution from the thief.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he'll never get.
Well, you don't know that.
I got a guy that owes me $250,000. I've gotten, I don't know, maybe $148.
I got a guy that owes me $55,000. He's been paying me $10 to $20 a month
for fucking 10 years.
It hasn't been. Well, it actually has. And on and off he pays, by the way. On and off.
He was a gambler, wasn't he?
So our trucks get broken in every 2 to 3 months.
That's crazy.
And tools, everything gets stolen. Catalytic converters. We have license plates with pictures. Please say there's nothing.
No, it's ridiculous.
You got the old spots that I did, right? Okay,
I don't
sorry.
even think you go to jail anymore.
93% of Americans every week. That's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches 20% more millennials than TV. More of the people you want to talk to all in one place. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com and get AM and FM working for you. Zoom.com. There are lots of places.
30 seconds to my live.
For the local stories that affect you most. Right now, listeners of this show will be entered for a chance to win $1,000.
Hey, we're hiring, by the way. You know if anybody looking.
You guys got a bounty out or a bonus?
We don't do hiring bonuses.
No.
Because those people just jump every 6 months to a year.
Oh, to get just the...
And the skills you
Okay. Blake Harris is our estate planning expert. He's an attorney at law, someone you should use if you're
Not thinking about retirement. You need to think about your estate. Whether you're at retirement or not, your estate is everything for leaving your assets to someone. Make sure it reflects your wishes. Your estate plan should include a will at least. You may need a trust. Maybe something like a beneficiary's deed that leaves a house outside of probate. Or maybe you're facing probate right now. Somebody died close to you. You need answers. You can call Blake Harris and ask your questions free of charge, and he'll give you some legal advice. He'll only charge you if you hire him, and he'll charge you flat rates quoted up front for whatever he does for you. 833-ASK-BLAKE. 833-ASK-BLAKE. Go to this website, please, if you're suffering pain. ColoradoPainCare.com. It's that simple. Find out about their locations around Denver Metro. You can make appointments from 7 to 7. That's for your convenience. Even same-day appointments available. ColoradoPainCare.com. I personally have gone there, and I have actually gotten out of pain. It was something they did for me. They started immediately. They worked with my insurance, and they're great people. They really do care about you and your pain. You don't feel like you're just a number there. ColoradoPainCare.com. 303-GOT-PAIN.
What if you could refinance your mortgage without starting your loan all over again? Potentially...
Excavators, plumbers, electricians, HVAC installers.
Anything.
Anything. Yeah. Apprentices.
Where?
Where? What do you mean?
What locations? All locations?
Well, yeah, I mean, we only cover pretty much the Denver metro area. We're moving north in a long line and further, but yeah, pretty much any of the Denver metro area. Our main office is in Centennial and our second office is in Arvada.
695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182-334, regulated by the Division of Business. What's done more to improve overall health and wellness, modern medicine, or personal?
I think whoever votes for Robert for Congress should be sent to jail. For life.
In the 1900s, isn't it time for something new, like cleaning your nose?
I tell you what, that boy gets fired up.
Quick.
He gets fired up!
The first line of defense against allergens, bacteria, and viruses from getting...
If I recall yesterday, you said that he's a big-time Trumper.
No, anti-Trumper.
No, big-time. Tell him he's a big Trumper.
No, he's a never Trumper.
He's a never Trumper.
No, but you got to tell him. He said yesterday he's a Trumper.
No, he said he was a never Trumper.
You're missing my point, damn it.
Mark wants to
You want to get him fired up?
How much more fired up can he get?
We're going to find out. And we're going to find out quick. So you agree with a lot of Trump's policies you said yesterday, right?
So, Smarty Pants wants to know who drinks more, this guy or Nancy Pelosi?
Tommy, I sent you 2 emails to add to the call screener for B Large and A-Rod, so they can put the spots on.
Now, I need to share right now with them, right?
Yeah, because I can't do it.
So,
The share button, and I put their emails in your email.
oh, you did them.
Yeah, you can copy and paste them.
So who's Dragon? Do we keep him?
I don't think Dragon's going to be on in doing our show. Ryan's, you can ask him.
Right, Mark, everybody has a cool nickname.
It's Marky Mark and the Fancy Pants. That's his
I gotta
name.
know who I can name. Who's Sia?
Well,
Sia, you can ask.
Little Dinger.
Who can that be?
My favorite's Little Dinger over here.
Scott, Slick Willie.
Shannon, I will keep Shannon on for now. Mark, all of
I know,
us,
Slick
Kelly.
Willie ain't good for a sales guy.
You can ask Angie and
Big
Dragon.
Bob.
But that was the reason I asked you about sales, because a lot of people, I mean, like when people ask me, right,
She would be, a backup for sure.
I'll get that right now.
Thank you.
Even when I owned the Goodyears,
this is a small portion of what you do.
It's a pretty big portion.
Okay.
But yeah. But I've always said sales when I've owned the company.
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Welcome. Now, I want to tell you about Premier Window Cleaning. They're great people. And the whole name is Premier. Let me get the whole name here. Premier, here it is. They're good people. Listen to it. A bunch of Premier Window Cleaning Services and Pressure Washing. Now, let me explain why I say get the whole name. Because they do not only window cleaning, but pressure washing of stucco and brick and driveways and garages. And they're 2 young people who, out of high school, started this company. They have the best prices anywhere. They work their tails off. They have a great crew. And when you hire them to do your windows around your house or business, they will do all the inside glass, like mirrors, shower doors, glass tops. PremierWindowCleaningDenver.org. PremierWindowCleaningDenver.org. They did our whole house for around, I think, $400 or $500. They did Mark's for $600. They do different. I'm telling you, you will not believe what they do for the prices. 303-564-5574. 303-564-5574. Yeah, Bob, you ought to write it down. You will love these guys. Good people. Anyway, let's keep going here and talk to whoever we can. Now, Robert, I know you say I don't give you a lot of time, and I understand you have a lot of problems, but I need to take some other calls right now, and I will go back to you. But I'm not sure what we can do to help you. That's the main deal. It's not that I don't want to help you. I don't know what we can do. You have so many different problems. And I think I called it a cascade of problems because I think one builds on another, and then you just get so frustrated that I think people are probably just writing you off. That's what I think they're doing. I don't believe in writing people off. I believe in human capital of all kinds. But I have to move on to some other calls right now. Okay, Linda needs some advice. Go ahead, Linda. What's going on?
Hi, Tom. I just wanted to get a little heads up. I took my car in to get the, it's a 2007.
Let's get Kevin on.
Okay, here's what we need. Here's what we need to do. We need to get we can't guarantee they won't be here. I mean, listening and then try to take advantage of you. And even Craigslist, while they have, a lot of scams, it's a good place because, I mean, there's a lot of scams. What are you selling?
There's the 2 couches that have 3 recliners to them, and then a couch that has an actual couch, and then 2 chairs, and then
oh my gosh,
all fit together. They're really nice, and they're brand new. We got them, and they're all my daughters moved out, so we don't need them anymore, and they're pretty much brand new. I mean, we got them, and then now they've just been in our basement, and we don't even go down there. All right,
so I'll tell you what. How much do you want for them?
The 2 couches that have the recliners, like $800 a piece, and then $800 for the other couch, so $800 a piece.
All right, Suze, would you get her number in case somebody wants them? Okay, she says they're like new, big couches with recliners in them and some other stuff, but we do have to take this break.
Now, impact traffic.
This report is...
How about what?
A consignment, so like there's one...
Oh, that's a good idea.
Okay, have her hold.
Yeah.
Have her hold for a second, too.
That one you go to.
Yes, you're right.
Somebody at East Kenyon.
Nice shit.
For 60s and then a chance of rain Friday morning.
Invest in real estate, there's all sorts of other business entities.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. I don't know why really.
We got a credit card company together, of course, referral list. We have.
Bob, do you want to do anything for a special or anything? You don't have
actually, I would like to do it just to shout out on hiring.
Let's talk about John Fuller. Now, you heard John on the air talking and giving people advice on some medical malpractice. Of course, his forte is car accidents. And I'm telling you, he does a great job because he takes the time to meet with you and to talk to you. He has a small staff, and that staff is dedicated to each and every client. My accident lawyer or my expert, he can be your accident lawyer at myaccidentlawyer.co. myaccidentlawyer.co. You can call and ask any questions, and he will honestly evaluate your case free of charge. And when you do hire him, it's on contingency. So you don't pay unless he collects for you, and he will collect because he takes only cases he knows that he can find sources to fund. 303-597-4500, John Fuller. Empower Reverse is another company I fully endorse for reverse loans. Empower Reverse Mortgages. Now, that's Mark Massey and his team. As you know, I'm fond of reverse mortgages when the circumstances are right. That means that you have equity, you're older, and you want to draw from that equity. You don't even pay tax on that money, and it's something to use in retirement. Now, Empower Reverse has a product that goes down to age 55, but obviously the more equity, the better, and the older, the better. 833-502-3100. Ask Mark at empowerreverse.com for his advice. 833-502-3100. And while we're on the topic of houses, if you're thinking about selling, even thinking about it, or maybe improving your house, you want a market analysis to see that you don't over-improve it. You never want to have a house that you spend too much money on, or you don't want a house that you want to get rid of if you can find another one. Frank Duran will give you a free analysis of your house and the others in the market. So you can do it with knowledge, and it's free with no obligation. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622.
You ever feel like when you're at work, everything you say sounds
like this because you're completely unstimulated and you don't care? But then when you're talking to your friends about things you're truly interested in and passionate about, you sound like you're alive and loving every moment of it. Then maybe you should try podcasting.
Did you get your audio back?
From iPhone.
Yeah. Okay, there's a switch really easy to accidentally go on my left side, so I watch it more from now on. That's my bad. Yes, sir.
And start your voyage from to woo. What's done more to improve overall health and wellness? Modern medicine or personal hygiene? Actually, it's both. But considering that bathing went mainstream in the 1800s, brushing your teeth in the 1900s.
Yeah, he's right. He's right. He's right. That's A-Rod.
Your nose, after all, your nose is the body's air filter for trapping germs and germs. The first line of defense against allergens,
that's what it was.
Viruses from getting into your lungs. But how do you
Mike Pot over there?
With no
That's how we control the level. But he says there's another switch over there that's
uses
easy to
powered
accidentally
suction
flip.
to pull saline in one nostril to the very
When you
back
get
of the
that,
nose where germs can get trapped and multiply.
That
And
low
then out the other
horsepower,
nostril, flushing
slow
out mucus and microbes
G-Wagon
so you can
will
breathe
race.
better, sleep deeper, snore less, and
So what's
stay
the flat? What does that mean?
2 million of
So
them.
you got an extra motor and extra mile.
It's got three motors instead of two.
Let me ask you something, Bob. I'm going to ask you honestly. I'm serious. Do you care if people look at you in a car?
Do I care?
Yeah, tell the guys that you don't care at all. You just care if you love the car.
Yeah, I want to be, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I care about that too. But I like the idea. I don't like, actually, I don't like putting it in people's face. I never use my Ferrari because of that, honest to God. But there's something about the G-Wagon. It's big and comfortable to get into, and I'm not sure if I'm ready for a sedan. And I like the Mercedes G-Wagon because it's cool. But I bought it way before these fucking songs made all these kids want to go out and have them, you know? And I bought them way before they were $200,000. And it's a beautiful car, just like them. So, I don't know if I want to get rid of it. The new car,
I think he'll miss out on the tech.
yeah, that's the thing. There's nothing exciting about it. Now, the new G-Wagon has more tech, but it'll never come close to the Tesla, right?
Nor the speed.
And there's no, but it's fast, but nothing like that. You're right. So I was thinking, instead of spending all that money on the Tesla for that same price, I could get a way updated G-Wagon. What do I want? You know, I can't imagine. The G-Wagon is, all cars are old technology compared to a Tesla. There's no comparison. A Tesla is like a fucking rocket ship. I mean,
They are. They're incredible.
and I'm not sure. I think I want it because every time I'm looking at the new G's, even though they're sexy looking, there's something I'm not getting excited about it like I did looking at the Teslas.
Yeah.
I think if you drove the Tesla, it would be done and over. That's the only thing that sucks about Tesla right now. You can't, there's no test drive. So I think if you drove it, you would go with it.
That's what, like I said, I got a 2004 truck. I had a
I'm Tom Martino. Okay, listen, real quick. I want to tell you that Bob Logan is hiring. Bob?
Yes, sir.
You're hiring everything.
We are, everything. We grew another 20% last year, Tom, and we're approaching 200 employees. And we opened our north location last year. So
define everything.
Well, lead excavators. So we do a lot of sewer line replacements. So I need excavators. I need HVAC installers, furnace and air conditioner installers. I need licensed plumbers and electricians, service technicians, even the office. Apprentices. We got a great apprentice program right now, which most of our competitors don't have. We will, if the right person without industry experience can come and start with us, and we'll start them from the beginning and take them all the way through licensing.
What number?
What?
You want to have your plumb line number?
Yeah, let's
okay, so here's the plumb line number, 303-586-1086.
Or go to plumblineservices.com and you can apply right through the website.
So that's plumblineservices.com. You can apply right through the website. I'm Tom Martino. Don't forget referralist.com. Save all your problems for me.
Follow Tom Martino at Real Tom